2011, 12, we was ready to shoot over anything. Nigga, you step on my shoes, on Biddy, we blowing. On Biddy, Fredo get out right in the next, all that shit going on between O Block and 600. It's just like we shooting at each other, but we ain't even into it. We motherfuckers got their little separate wars, bro. On Biddy, Fredo get out, me, Lil Steve and D-Rose walk to Front Street. Yeah, nigga, I'm home now. Ain't no more of that 600 shit. Whoa! Whoa! On Biddy, before I go back to the hood, go get C-Day. C-Day wasn't trying to hit. I was like, what? On Biddy, it was a shootout after that. King David, they had to go up. King David, yeah. Only real blockheads know this type of shit, though. Next day, big rolling from the front, he come right to the hood. On Biddy.
Fuck the Front Street.
What the fuck is the Front Street?
What the fuck is the Front Street?
How y'all Front Street gonna be front line?
I'm saying right, cause we be sipping on blood and shit while we on the front line.
On BD. It says.
They ass extinct. They ass is extinct. Like I'm saying, what the fuck is the 400 East? You heard of them?
Never.
I ain't never heard of them.
Come back.
We don't know what a TW is. The 400 East, Front Street, shit, Gyro.
You don't know what nobody is.
We don't know what they ass is.
Hey, money, I'm still live. Niggas making me eerie. Hey, look, when niggas make me eerie, though, Chubby, guess what I do? What you think I do when niggas make me eerie? Just give me just guess. Tell me, bloody.
Odee? Yeah, I knew O blew at me before. It was just a little situation where our blocks had a little animosity with each other over some shit that had nothing to do with them. They was actually aiding and assisting Front Street.
I guess it was a beef during the dice game. Munna Duke had to pull a blick out. You know, that kind of explains why Memo600 been dissing Munna Duke ever since he died. He was going hard on Munna Duke.
DThang, gang, I didn't sign to Lil Durk.
You signed to DThang, right? And DThang done passed away, right? And DThang baby mama done had a baby by another nigga or whatever. And you dissing that nigga. You can't have that much love for DThang if you dissing a nigga that his woman involved with.
First of all, that
I'm
nigga,
just saying.
listen, that bitch ain't getting
I don't mean to keep bringing money.
There are two kinds of endings in this world. The first kind is the ending that happens to you. The one you didn't choose, didn't see coming, didn't have language for until it was already done. A car pulling up, a phone ringing at 3 a.m., a name in a headline. That kind of ending doesn't ask your permission. It arrives. And whatever life you were building, whatever plans existed for tomorrow, whatever version of yourself you were in the middle of becoming, all of it stops in that instant, without ceremony, without warning. The second kind of ending is the one that was always coming, the one that anyone watching from outside could have seen from a distance, tracking the trajectory of every decision, every escalation, every moment where a different choice was available and the different choice was not made. That kind of ending is not a surprise. It is a destination. It was written into the story at the beginning, in the geography, in the names given to the blocks, in the first act of violence that set the chain in motion. And what felt like free choice at every junction was, in the aggregate, a road that had only one terminus. The story of 600 and O Block is both kinds of endings simultaneously. It is a story of specific moments, dice games and gunshots and clubhouse sessions and church confrontations and federal wires and courtroom testimony that no individual participant chose as a total package. And it is a story of a destination that was always visible if you knew where to look. In the names, in the geography, in the origin. Before it was O Block, it was WIC City. Before it was 600, it was Brick City. Before the beef was a YouTube phenomenon with millions of collective views across dozens of channels, it was a territorial dispute between two groups of young men on the south side of Chicago who were trying to survive in conditions that the rest of the city preferred not to look at directly. This is part 4, the last chapter, and we are going back to the beginning, all the way back, before we go to the end.
Yeah, let's get your story a little bit then. So it's like, you know, you growing up, you got booked in 2011. What it was like for you growing up over there before you seen the little shorties acting crazy when there was a little more structure and stuff like that? What it was like?
It was. I mean, in the area was like, I feel like this, you know what I'm saying? Because we was in the buildings. You know what the buildings like. So I just feel like that in the buildings, we were safe in the buildings. So when the buildings got knocked down, we didn't really know how to play blocks. That's something that we had to learn because we used to just be in the building. You know what I'm saying? So being in the building and shit, it was. I mean, shit, it was fun. You know what I'm saying? We had our own little team. We was calling ourselves D Block at the time on 62nd in Calumet. You know what I'm saying? But when the buildings got knocked down, I feel like a lot of people still be alive right now if the buildings were still up because we were safe in those buildings. Anything happened, we could just run in the buildings.
So the origins is Calumet building before y'all ended up over there on the blocks?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, when the building got knocked down, though, it's like everybody had to
scatter around.
Everybody scattered around. You know, Reese, you know, went over there normally they started their 300 thing, you know what I'm saying? But before they even went there, we all was really on Saturday night for burning. You know what I'm saying? I had my time over there at the low building, the white and the brown building. You know what I'm saying? I was really scattered around before we even got sanctioned right there.
Yeah, it definitely, when the building got knocked down, it definitely had a lot because some even like had to go all over the place. Like
yeah,
went
some
to the
people
low
started,
end.
you know what I'm saying? No, some people like even with the Jero City, you know what I'm saying?
Like that's what J
in
Mane
the
from.
building.
Like,
They went
yeah,
over there.
facts.
They started, you know what I'm saying? You can't control where your parents move.
Melly too.
Yeah, Keon,
Wu,
Fo, like
you know what I'm
they,
saying? That's
bro.
Fido and them kids.
That's crazy.
You
Like,
can't control where your
That
parents
is
move.
crazy,
You
bro.
know what I'm saying? So it's like we all then broke apart and then now we beefing.
yeah, and that's why I be trying to tell people it's so crazy because like
son.
they ain't do nothing but move 2 blocks over. You know what I'm saying? And that's
now
how
we
close
ain't
our
family
quarters
no more.
is. You know what I'm saying? Like you moving 2 blocks after King Drive or moving 2 blocks like before King Drive, you coming from the E-way, you moving 2 blocks to the left of King Drive will put you on the wrong side, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like
How early?
Like 2nd grade, still like that. I moved from buildings like 2nd grade to the block type.
That's super early.
Yeah, like 2nd grade, you know, came to the block like 2nd grade.
Yeah,
You know,
still baby boy type, still like 2nd grade. That's still
when I was still functioning though.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm still functioning.
Yeah.
I remember been out here since the World Trade Center got blew up.
For sure, early 2000. Yeah. So you say saw you also say it wasn't a big difference because it was already the Jets that you came from.
For sure. It's all about adapting. I just adapted to it because I'm already was right there. I just came out being outside more. You know, I was under my people and watching me when I was a shorty in the projects. But when I came out here, I was hanging by myself, going outside by myself like that. So yeah.
No, for sure.
Big boy.
For sure. So, you know, I had interviewed a few people and they were saying like how they felt like that the O ain't the projects because it ain't got high-rise buildings and it ain't like kind of set up, I guess, how the projects is on low end. Do you see it like that or how you feel
We got
about
elevators still. You know, nobody ain't got, that's when you got elevators, that's the project. We got elevators, incinerators, all type of shit. So yeah, this is the project. It's just a gated community, bro.
For sure. I just want to get that take on that.
Yeah.
So coming over here, being, you know, 8-year-old, maybe like 8-9-year-old E-Dog, bro. Who the first some of the guys you running into over here, you know?
My top, my little brothers though, you know. They, you know, I was with them too though, you know, but Top, you know, that was my boy. You know, that's my boy though.
Yeah. So what's up with him, man? I see you came home, you seem like you been low, you just been out the way.
Supposed been on his own time. Get out with me, man. Get out with me, brother.
What's up? So what about like T-Roy? Because I see like the strong connection with you and T-Roy. Like, was that one of your first friends too?
Yeah, that was my boy for sure. We was locked in like a different bond though, you know. We grew that on our own time, you know. We made that on our own time type shit, yeah.
Yeah, how you meet the brother though? You met him at that age too? How you meet him?
Yeah, we was all around the same area, so when he started getting, you know, I adapted to him, come spend a night.
Because you cannot understand how something finishes without understanding how it started. And the way this started, in the geography and the history and the names that were chosen before any of the men in this story were old enough to choose anything, tells you everything you need to know about why it ended the way it did. The streets are talking, and after this, after part 4, you will have heard everything they have to say. Let's go. TH1, 2 cities that didn't know each other yet. The world before the beef. To understand the war, you have to understand the peace that existed before it. Or more precisely, you have to understand the specific kind of uneasy non-war that passed for peace on the south side of Chicago in the years before the drill era exploded everything into the open. To understand the war, you have to understand the peace that existed before it. Or more precisely, you have to understand the specific kind of uneasy non-war that passed for peace on the south side of Chicago in the years before the drill era exploded everything into the open. In the geography of Chicago's south side, 600 and O Block are not far from each other in absolute terms. The blocks that would eventually become the centers of this conflict, Steve Drive, which runs through the 60th Street corridor, and Parkway Gardens at 64th and King Drive, are separated by less than a mile as the crow flies. In a city with a functioning public transit system and no gang territories to navigate, they are practically neighbors. In the specific geography of Chicago's South Side in the 2000s and early 2010s, they existed in largely separate universes. The South Side of Chicago is not a monolith. It is a collection of micro-territories, blocks, housing complexes, corridors, each with its own identity, its own history, its own set of affiliations and alliances and enmities that predate any individual currently living there by decades. The gang geography that structured daily life in these neighborhoods was not created by the people who currently inhabited it. It was inherited. It was the accumulation of decades of territorial claiming and counterclaiming, of migration patterns and housing policy decisions and economic abandonment, and the specific American history of what happens to black neighborhoods when capital leaves and policing increases and legitimate opportunity contracts to near zero. The young men who would become 600 and the young men who would become O Block both grew up inside this inherited geography. They did not design the conditions they were born into. They were handed those conditions the way every generation is handed the conditions its predecessors created, with no manual, no alternative, and no obvious exit. What they did with those conditions, how they navigated them, how they named them, how they built identity and community inside them, that is where the choices begin. And those choices, made by specific individuals in specific moments, are what this documentary has been tracking across 4 parts and hundreds of thousands of words. But before we can track the choices, we have to understand the terrain those choices were made in.
Project fucking road.
Bro, but it wasn't all the time just on that, bro. Like, you just had to be ready to go. To be honest, them niggas 600 was more ruthless than us, because it was a few niggas from where we from that was actually in our age range that was trying to put in work. Yeah. Couldn't be 600 if you really weren't on that.
For both sides of this story began with names that are now almost forgotten. Names that were replaced by the identities that YouTube and drill music made famous. Names that carry in their origins the full weight of the history that produced everything that followed. Before it was 600, the block was Brick City. Before it was O Block, the block was Wick City. And before either of those names existed, the land they sat on had a different name entirely. A name that contains, if you look at it directly, the whole compressed history of American racial geography in a single ugly package. In 1905, on what is now the corner of 63rd Street and South Cottage Grove Avenue on the south side of Chicago, an amusement park opened its gates to the public. It was called WIC City. The name was not metaphor, it was not irony, it was not the kind of language that required decoding by a later, more historically literate generation. WIC City was called White City because it was for white people.
Did she just shot me? Did she just shot you? He called 911. She just shot me.
Bitch, she lied.
Just shot me. Yes.
And they scared of him, bro. They scared of him. They moving out his way, bro. Ooh, I can't wait to phone them kill your ass. Some help coming. He do different what they do.
Don't touch it. I believe I can fly.
Get back, baby, because we can fall.
I believe. Okay, man. What is that, Odee? What is that? Hey, get up and out. Hey, get up and out. Hey, get up and out. Hey, get up and
I don't even mean to bring this up though, but y'all know the way my baby daddy got killed. He got killed. He got shot 14 times, 10 times in the body, 4 times in the head. You know that's the same way. That's the same way Lil B got killed by the police.
Okay, I gotta go.
He got shot 14 times.
And you.
So since both of them deceased, did baby Lil B killed your baby daddy?
Yeah.
Yes.
This shit is total. This shit that we watch on YouTube.
All the niggas good though, you know. He's one of the fans though, you know. Our headband on BD, we good though, you know. Got some shots in that car. They had something little though on BD. Something deuce. That motherfucker ain't gonna do nothing. On BD, you know we out here doing wild shit.
Squad shit, I don't know your name again, bro.
Halo, man. Halo Rock Boy, man. MWDG, man. Straight up.
Shout out to Zach TV, bro.
Shout out to Zach TV, man.
Real nigga.
BD, fuck Millie, everybody on BD. Rock Boy, Free Wells, man. We out here, man. Rock Nation. RP the guy, MWDG, Molly World Dirty Game, man. You know how we rockin'.
We gonna holler at you, bro.
Shit, bro, man, they're going through the little phone. I'm doing my shit, bro. What's up with the games, bro? I'm doing my whole block shit, bro. Don't worry about it. I'm off the motherfucking gyro, folks, walking through that bitch, folks. On day, folks. Niggas ain't out here, folks. I'm all through this bitch, folks. So I'm playing day.
I believe in this shit.
Hey, some shit on camera, let me hold something. I need some too.
All these blues I have. That's what he do. Southside.
Me, bro.
We ain't done yet. It's only family shit.
Show the tattoo, man. Show the tattoo.
Yeah, I'm out here Nike shot. Yo, look. Carry her around. I'm cool with this. Free shot. Yeah, man, them people playing with my boy. He finna get out this bitch. He say he want 100 for a free chick.
100 bun.
100.
Yeah, you got the big one on. I'll get the even big one out of the pocket.
Not in my chain.
Gang shit, nigga. Can't catch him.
One thing that kept sticking out to me was ask him about shooting up Dunbar with McAdoo and King Von.
I ain't shoot up shit with nobody, but you know, bro, now ain't shit happen for real. But
okay,
you know,
so that's the true story.
Yeah, it's a true. It's a true
he
story.
He said no.
ain't shit happen though. Ain't shit happen though.
Word.
Ain't shit happen.
Okay, cool.
Because in 1905 in Chicago, as in virtually every American city of that era, public leisure spaces were racially organized as a matter of explicit policy and unreflective social consensus. WIC City, the amusement park, featured roller coasters and a ballroom and restaurants and all of the standard entertainments of the early 20th century leisure industry. It also featured, in the specific grotesque tradition of that era, an attraction called the African Dip, a booth where white visitors could pay to throw baseballs at a target that would drop a black performer into a pool of water. This was considered family entertainment. This was considered normal. This is what the ground that would eventually become O Block was at the beginning of the 20th century. The WIC City amusement park burned down in 1939. The site went through various subsequent uses over the following decade, and by 1950, the Parkway Gardens apartment complex was being built on and around the former parkland. The complex was completed in 1955. Architect Henry K. Holzman, who designed several of Chicago's affordable housing developments during this era, designed a modernist structure intended to provide decent housing for working-class black families who had been systematically excluded from most of the city's private housing market by racially restrictive covenants and discriminatory lending practices. In its early years, Parkway Gardens was functional. It was, by the standards of mid-century Chicago public housing, a community, not ideal, not free from the pressures that poverty and segregation created, but livable. People raised families there. Children walked to school from there. The complex had a community identity that was separate from the violence and dysfunction that would later define its public image. The decline of Parkway Gardens tracks, almost perfectly, the broader decline of Chicago's South Side public housing in the 1970s and 1980s. The withdrawal of maintenance funding, the deepening of poverty concentration, the erosion of the working-class families who had originally populated the buildings, the arrival of crack cocaine in the mid-1980s, and the specific devastation that the crack era visited on concentrated poverty communities across urban America. By the late 1980s and into the 1990s, Parkway Gardens was no longer the livable community it had briefly been. It was something else, something that the city's media and politicians preferred to describe in terms of pathology rather than policy failure. By the early 2000s, the young people who grew up in Parkway Gardens called it WIC City. The name is a phonetic reference to White City, the old amusement park that used to sit on the same ground. But in the mouths of black youth in 2005, WIC City is not a tribute to the amusement park. It is an act of reclamation. It is the specific Chicago tradition of taking the geography you were born into, the geography that was shaped by forces you did not choose, and renaming it in terms that belong to you. That express your identity, rather than the identity that the history of the place tried to impose. WIC City was the name the block carried before Odee Perry died, before King Von made Parkway Gardens famous to the entire world through his music, before O Block became a byword in the global vocabulary of drill culture, before the YouTube channels and the documentaries and the millions of views and the federal indictments, when it was just a housing complex on the south side of Chicago, trying to survive with the names and identities its own people gave it.
You like that? What you want, mama? I got the proof of that, nigga. This dick. Oh, delete that. Come
I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I push my mind to a limit where it needs to be. I work blind, got vision, I don't need to.
The street gang organization that claimed Parkway Gardens and the surrounding area was the Black Disciples, one of the two dominant gang organizations on Chicago's South Side, alongside the Gangster Disciples, and historically opposed to them. The Black Disciples had deep roots in Woodlawn, the community area where Parkway Gardens is located, going back decades before any of the people in this story were born. The specific set that would eventually become famous as O Block was operating within the Black Disciples framework, with its own internal hierarchy, its own local leadership, its own identity within the larger organizational structure. This is the world that Odee Perry grew up in, that King Von grew up in, that Munna Duke grew up in. Not O-Block, not yet. WIC City, a place with a history that goes back a century, to a whites-only amusement park on land that was never supposed to be theirs, remade into something of their own by the specific alchemy of black survival in American cities. After August 10th, 2011, after Odee Perry was shot and killed near the complex, the name changed. WIC City became O-Block.
You know, the connection with 600, like Von, King Von, he was like one of y'all close homies. He had a 600 tattoo, you know what I mean? So he was cool, like had a real connection over there. Some of them guys, M-Thang was from the O, he had like connections over here. So it's like, ties. So it's like, I want to ask you this, like back in the day, T-Roy, your homie, like was he a bully?
Nah, he just standing on the business.
Yeah.
Like if it's right is right, wrong is wrong. You know, that's what he go by the code. He ain't bullying. He just go like, you fluky, you fluky. If you doing this, you doing that. He ain't gonna really just front the move on none of that. Hell no.
Yeah.
You know, he can do whatever he want to do. He ain't gonna front the move though.
The reason why I asked you about the bully, because I had heard a story, and I mentioned 600 in the previous, because I had heard a story where it was like at one point, DThang from 600 and T-Roy, they used to bump heads when they were shorties. Like they was both extra over the top as far as touch.
That wouldn't occur.
Yeah. So what happened? I had heard a story like where I guess at a point 007 Nate from Gyro.
I never knew this though. Yeah. I never knew this story.
Oh, you never heard this story?
Never knew No. I heard about it. Like I heard about it, but I never heard it like for me. I heard it years later type.
Right.
I never knew like it happened like with the internet. It's happening years later, but
I was gonna say. I was gonna wonder.
I don't know how they was cool, but yeah, Nate he was cool. He was a little cool. He was cool with us. Like Nate was cool.
Yeah.
Nate man. Ain't no 007, man. His name, he was cool.
That's crazy. So it's like, what happened with T-Roy and where Nate and DThang supposed to have to jump T-Roy or vice versa?
I don't know how they got cool. I don't know like.
I don't
know how they got cool like that. I don't know what happened though for real.
I feel you. Another guy from over there, man, I got up with, I ain't gonna lie, bro, Lil Mikey. They be calling him the Gyro City E-Dog in my comments. They be tweaking with him. He don't like that shit, but they be trolling him. But so he like, what did y'all have a relationship back then with y'all shorties or not?
That's bro. He know that's bro. He know, man, it's bro. It's good. Man, I'm good. Man, I'm good for sure. Man, I'm good. Ain't no static with me and him. There ain't no static. If we see each other, it won't be no static.
Yeah, one time I had interviewed him, he was saying like he talked to you and he was sitting out with you and push positivity and all this. Was he trolling or y'all really was chopping it up?
For real, it ain't gonna be no static.
Y'all was really chopping it up.
Name drop was was it Parkway O-Block at that time, or was Odee still around?
Yeah, O still around. Yeah, it's just Parkway.
So what was your relationship like with Odee? Like, how did y'all become friends, or how that all start?
We used to that was my homie. We used to just kick it like far as like, just kick it, like as a kid, play the game, link up with girls, ride around. He used to drive, we used to drive at the time. He was driving before us and shit like that. But like, we was just hanging tough at an early age.
Like, look, come here, that's how you do this, that's how you do that.
Yeah.
No, what he was doing, he was showing them because he was doing it. And wanted to do it, so they was following in his footsteps.
Why do you think he was so advanced and like you and him like jumped off the porch so early compared to everybody else?
I couldn't even tell you. I think it's just shit. We wanted to be like some little demons and shit. You feel me? Like, you can't compare nobody on the streets to Odee though. You know what I'm saying? It's like he was different, bro. He was different. Like, a lot of who shout his name don't know him.
Odee Perry,
Yeah, that was bro, for sure. That was bro. That was my 10 year shit. We slept in the same bed, same cars, all type of shit together. We was really tight before he passed away type shit. That's my boy, for sure. Right now, that's my brother. If I see him right now, he gonna love at me.
Now, you know, I believe he passed away in 2012 or 2011?
No, yeah, 11.
2011, and that's what you guys formed the name O Block around.
Yeah.
You know, what was it that made him different to where, you know what I'm saying?
Because he was doing everything first. He was doing everything first. Before everybody was thinking about being raw, he'd been doing this shit.
Okay, do you remember, you know, when you guys first met, or was he older than you too?
Yeah, he was older than me. Yeah, he was older than me. Yeah.
He was older than you, okay.
In his honor, because that is what the block does. It names itself after the people it loses. It converts grief into geography, and in doing so, it ensures that the person who is gone is never fully absent. Their name is literally the place where the living go every day, where they grow up, where they make choices, where they eventually, if the street world has its way, meet their own endings. O Block, named for a man who died at 20 years old, on a bicycle on a summer night in 2011. Everything that came after, every King Von Lyric, every FBG Duck funeral, every clubhouse session, every dice game, every federal indictment, everything is downstream of that naming, of that grief, of that decision to mark the loss of a young man by putting his initial on everything.
He's not back on the script. 40 on me and it gotta switch. Nigga wanna play and I'm whacking shit. And I ain't doing no capping, bitch.
Less than a mile away, in the same compressed geography of the South Side, a different naming process was underway. Before it was 600, the block was Wick City. The name comes from the specific physical character of the buildings and the ground in the 59th to 61st Street corridor around Calumet Avenue and King Drive, the area that would eventually become the home of one of Chicago's most documented street organizations. Wick City was not a formal gang name in the organized sense. It was a neighborhood identity, the kind of informal territorial designation that exists in every dense urban environment, where the specific physical character of a place becomes the vocabulary with which the people who live there describe themselves. In the years before 600 crystallized as an identity, Wick City was home to a mixed community of gang affiliations, predominantly gangster disciples and black disciples, the two dominant forces on the South Side, operating in the complex overlapping territorial patterns that characterized Chicago gang geography in the 2000s. The relationship between GDs and BDs in this specific corridor was not simply one of enmity, though enmity existed between the larger organizations. It was the more complicated reality of people who lived side by side, who had personal relationships with each other as individuals that cut across the organizational lines.
Shells, y'all see what the fuck it is, man. CPDK, man, fuck them. They say the police with the shit. Oh, fuck Wick City. We out here, school. Bang, bang, motherfucker.
Where were you when you moved to 600?
But shit, how old I was? The 6 ain't been around 10. I don't know. Right. I don't know, I had to be like 13, 14, shorty. Cause all before that, we was over east heavy. You know, fucking around and all that. Like when 600 formed, shit, I was shorty. It been Wick City. I been on 59th with them, you know, that's family. But it's like when that 6 came, it was different. You know, that's a whole different way. It is a difference, but we the same thing, you know?
So you had family in the area already before you went?
Yeah.
He had mentioned that when he was young, like a lot of dudes he went to school with, he ended up being ops with when he got older.
So?
Like I think he mentioned MOB Scrap. Like
Yeah.
they used to be friends when they were like young.
When Scrap was one of them niggas, we knew how to play basketball and shit, and we was goddamn just, you know, rocking with him, you know what I'm saying? He was a little tough guy too, he had some heart, you know what I'm saying? And he wasn't scared, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, we was just like, ooh, we gonna fuck with him, you feel me? And we never knew what was gonna grow older and end up
becoming of us and Scrap and how that shit was gonna happen. So it's like, these just my thoughts as a kid before all this shit, you know what I'm saying? I know I feel a whole different way about him now, not as like how he is personally, but just like my look on him personally, because who he ended up becoming later. But at this point in time, as kids, it's like one of my peoples, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Did you have any situations like that?
Yeah, it's a lot of that go on, but you know, that's the thing, bro. I just don't give a fuck about that shit. Like, I'm in this street so much, like when it's time for like to get on these cameras and shit, I don't wanna talk about them niggas, man. I got Call Me Dadarachi 2 out right now. You know what you know? I don't smoke dead niggas, none of that shit. I'm a grown ass man, bro. I'm from that block, but you know, I'm at peace with all that shit, bro. I'm trying to get some money. I wish the whole city could just come together, man. But you know, it's bloodshed in this shit, so it can't go like that. I lost guys to this shit, so we know how it can't go like that, but look at Atlanta and shit. You know, them guys getting money. I don't really like to talk about that shit.
Across the organizational lines, but who were also embedded in structures that periodically demanded they act on those organizational lines in ways that overrode personal connection. This is the environment that produced the two men who would eventually found 600, Lil Boo and DThang. Jerome, Lil Boo Anderson and DThang, Darius Dante Johnson, both grew up in this Wick City environment. Both were, by their early teens, embedded in the street life that defined the neighborhood. Both had the kind of presence that the street world rewards with attention and reputation. The combination of personal courage, social intelligence, and willingness to participate in the violence that the code requires that elevates certain individuals above the general level of the block and marks them as people others will follow.
DThang up the bang on FBG Young in the middle of a peace treaty. They lying, man, that's a lie. Wasn't none of them outside. It was my boy Bleak. Bleak, he used to be on STL, and he used to be trapping with me on King Drive. You know what I'm saying? There was only a couple of gangsters, disciples that was trapping on King Drive. You know what I'm saying? And he was one of them. And he knew Young them. You feel what I'm saying? So he brought Young over there, and I got DThang hollering at him. They was hollering. And it took some grown dude to come out there, start screaming and going crazy. And that's when Young just pimped off. You feel what I'm saying? Cause it escalated already. So what he still over there for? Nobody up no gun or none of that stuff, man. I just wanted to clear that up before I went into it, man. But DThang 600, man, that's my boy Trigger. Trigger is my mans from 600. That's my mans. Solid dude. He used to be up under me, rocking with me and stuff, but you know what I'm saying? He always knew how to do his own thing. He was just a younger guy who navigated to me and was rocking and rolling with what I had going on. So he gonna forever be my boy. I was to rock with him real heavy, and DThang used to be up under him. That's how it really went. DThang was outside, and he was in the car with some females. He's sliding up 61st in Vernon, going up 62nd, 63rd, busting the right, bust another right, get back on King Drive. Now, while he doing this, he done did it 3 times. Now, while he doing it, nobody know he riding up and down Gyro, throwing down the rakes.
And I guess they had like seen like 40, like we marching deep as hell. I ain't gonna lie, we was deep as this day. Cause we already we knew it was a peace treaty, bro, but like at this point we like putting our feet in the water trying to see if this shit real. You know what I'm saying? So we walking up the drive. We never walk up the drive, bro. Everybody know if we gotta go to the old from the block, folk, we going up the mat. Yeah. We even going up through Front Street. We might have took Indiana and slid through the motherfucking gangway and got to 63rd and then hit the back of Dulles. But the King Drive, never. This day we up the drive. And on Fort Gray, I guess by the time we had got to 61st, all them niggas started coming out the building because they was trying to see what we was on, like we was seeing what they was on. And I swear to God, I remember before it was about like 60 shorties out there staring at each other like, trying to see if you can say something. Like, on video, I swear to God, it was literally just like a stare off. Like it wasn't even like, yeah, woo, what up? What up? We literally just stand like, y'all got the word, we got the word.
You show it to me. Like this who you need to talk to as far as what the his brother out here doing. You know what I'm saying? So, it's me, DThang, we out there chilling, and Lil B and Cam walk up, and DThang, you know, tweaking and shit. What so he like, man, look, I'm talking about
Lil B.
They got killed.
Yeah, because he come and tell me like, if it's a peace treaty, why your brother just came and did this, you know what I'm saying? So I will say that it was a couple times where Cam did come holler at me while that peace treaty was going on. Yeah. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? Your shorty them did this, your shorty them did that, you know what I'm saying? Holler at him.
He brought Lil B to holler at you too?
He brought Lil B to holler at me.
Now, how was that? Because I ain't gonna lie, I heard he had like a real crazy reputation. Like, really
I think that my little brother DThang wanted that boy bad.
I ain't gonna lie.
He wanted him bad. You know what I'm saying? What happened? Like their history, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But he wanted him bad.
I'm dead.
It was out to send him on like the bus stop right there. Is right by. We was on 61st. The bus stop. I had to send my brother on because you know DThang stayed the females. But go over there and holler at Shorty and let me talk to him. You know what I'm saying? Because DThang ain't letting Shorty get no words out. You know what I'm saying? I gave you a pass. All that. You know what I'm saying?
I swear to God, bro.
So him and Lil B had an argument right there, or you just told him to go across the street and y'all discussed it? Like,
I think that a matter of fact, DThang told Shorty like, man, you good right here, but next time I see you, ain't giving you no pass. Some shit like that.
This why the peace treaty going on.
This why the peace treaty going on. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, because I ain't gonna lie, that's what I heard that too. You just said it was, you know.
Right. So what's the difference between 600 and 300?
Blocks. We did way different. It's a lot of difference. Like they across the bridge, like 64 for normal. We on 5090 King Drive, 60 in King Drive. Them good questions too, folks. I ain't nobody asked you those yet.
Word?
You been doing your homework.
Yeah, I'll do my research. Oh man, bro.
What question is that?
Nah,
I'm asking everything. I ain't nothing to hide, ain't nothing.
Well, the guy from 600 named Breezy, and I watched the throwback Say Cheese interview. I'm talking throwback Say Cheese.
Wow.
And he talked about flipping from GD to BD. Now, I really don't know how those politics work, you know what I'm saying, with the GDs and the BDs, but is that like so 600, is that a clique or is that a gang? Like,
We're a rap group, gang. Ain't no gang. We never gang. I don't gang bang split. I'm not a BD, GD, none of that shit. I just hang with a lot of different, you know?
Right.
My whole family GDs though. If you want to say anything, you just say I'm GD, but I ain't GD, gang. Like, feel me? That's what they don't know though, like.
Yeah, that's news to me.
I just hang with BDs, gang. That's all. Like, I'm not.
So the BDs and the GDs can hang together. That's
anybody can hang with anybody. It's a free country. We don't gang bang, gang. I don't go off that gang bang and shit.
You know, y'all got Truth Teller. He tell y'all this way he do, man. Able to get a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Historian, man. Now you talking to a nigga that know. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit about this shit. A lot of shit you niggas got making videos and if y'all don't know what's going on, bro. y'all lost, bro. You know what I'm saying? But for what it's worth, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, DThang was an integral part, you know what I'm saying, in starting at 600, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? Free my brother Lowski D, you know what I'm saying? Lowski the boss, 600 Lowski. Low, goddammit, put niggas in play, you know what I'm saying? My big bro, and gave them that slot and told them, y'all can go do that, you know what I'm saying?
Man, I just seen, you know, Shark just rebanned Memo. Like, you seen they had their little, you know, they had their little back and forth and shit, bro. Like, folks just rebanned them and shit. And it's like, what's to that, though? Like, with their little energy and their dynamic is like...
Man, bro, I just stay out of their business, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, it just... You know, I understand both sides of whatever they got going on. I just stay out of their business, folks, because they got the energy to keep going. Like, I don't be having energy for all the internet shit with like all of that. Folks. They got the energy to keep going, but I would wish they'd tire out. It's like when you watch your kids be bad all day, like, please tire yourself out so you can take a nap. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how I be looking at photos. Not like kids, but it's just me wishing that they get tired of the shit they're doing.
Yeah,
they just get tired until they just stop doing it. Like,
Memo, can't slide back to the block. Can't slide the old block no more. Durk them don't fuck with you. What the fuck happened? Sneak this and every motherfucker around you. Y'all niggas didn't see, y'all didn't peep that.
Island where it's violent, all these niggas know where we at. Where we play. Son of two, Liddy, two. Video shooting a rack. Memo shooting a video on a rack. On my block. Go on, get that public service announcement out there real quick for everybody. I'm shooting a video on my block today. Son of two, Liddy, two, Tuka, two. Money making trail. How the fuck is you buying?
Bro, back 2011, 12, we was ready to shoot over anything. Nigga, you step on my shoes, on BD, we blowing. On BD, Fredo get out right in the next, all that shit going on between O Block and 600. It's just like we shooting at each other, but we ain't even into it. We motherfuckers got they little separate wars, bro. On BD, Fredo get out, me, Lil Steve and D-Rose walk to Front Street. Yeah, nigga, I'm home now. Ain't no more of that 600 shit. Whoa, on BD before I go back to the hood, go get C-Day. C-Day wasn't trying to hit. I was like, what? On BD, it was a shootout after that. King David, they had to go up. King David, yeah. Only real blockheads know this type of shit though. Next day, big rolling from the front, he come right to the hood. On BD.
Around 2009, Lil Boo and DThang founded what would become 600. The founding was not a formal organizational ceremony. It does not have a specific date or a documented founding document. It was the gradual crystallization of a specific group identity, people who were from this specific corridor, who claimed this specific block, who operated under this specific umbrella, that over time became distinct enough from both the GD and BD frameworks to constitute something of its own. The name 600 comes from the address, the 600 block of the corridor that the group claimed. Steve Drive, which became one of the most important place names in 600's identity, is part of this geography. The various honorific names that 600 would accumulate over the years, Baldy World, Shack City, D-Block, LA Gang, are the same naming after the lost tradition that produced O-Block. Each name is a person. Each person is a death. The geography of grief accumulates until the block is covered in it, until every corner and every apartment number carries the weight of someone who is gone.
City, what's up? What? Who's scared of their city?
BTA, man.
What? He told my brothers he's scared of their city. Bitch, the Wisconsin niggas. Who's scared? What?
Hey, where we at? Where we at?
Why 59?
Rock, this man. Year, man. Here, man. Man. Here, man. You know, man, we got bodies, man.
Bodies,
no.
man. BDKK, man. What the man? All them goofy G-boys, man. I'm cool with Pink Savage and they little video shoot. Some little though, you know, man. Steve driving, man. D-Block.
And I'm 2 up. Two.
I'm 1 up.
Goofy.
Okay, from the beginning, bro, like how I had got it, it was like DThang had started it, like, so can you give it to me from your perspective, like how it came about, like the 600?
One day it was me, Lil Boo, DThang, man, you Book and C-Day in the hallway. We was on 60th and King Drive in front of me. I remember this shit like it was yesterday. Lil Boo and C-Day was in the hallway, slap boxing on Funnel Grade. They slapping the shit out of each other on State Grade. Then we just sitting there, we like, man, we need to come up with our own shit. Everybody got their own shit, we need to come up with our own shit. Let's State Grade, we in that bitch just naming shit. We naming shit. Then we just saying any shit, anything, we just saying anything on Funnel Grade. I'm like, we should be named the 6,000 Boys. Then they like, man, shut your goofy ass up, you tweaking, hell no. Ooh, I'm like, all right. From them, that's when DThang and Lil Boo was like, no, we should be 600. Then we all agreed to that shit. Like, yeah, like y'all agree, like me, us.
He a regular on my channel, for sure.
For sure.
But the whole time though, he gave his perspective on how 600 started. He say DThang was his big brother, that's who started it, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I interviewed Inky D, and it seemed like he gave his take. It seemed like it was controversy around, you know, his perspective, not his perspective. You know what I mean? What's your take on what was going on? Like, cause it seemed like the vlog was picking up saying that, you know, y'all had issue. So what's your take on what they said?
See, my take on, if I'm let bro.
But see, I ain't gonna say, look, I ain't gonna say who, I ain't gonna say, when 600 started, I wasn't around. When 600 started, I was in Parkway. So I ain't gonna say who started 600, so I'm gonna say, you couldn't say DThang name without saying Lil Boo, Manny, and C-Day. So I'm gonna say that, but I ain't gonna say who started 600. But it's like, if you gonna say DThang name, you gotta say Lil Boo name. If you gonna say Lil Boo, you gotta say C-Day, you gotta say Manny. But I ain't gonna say who started it. Went around when it started.
But you ain't saying Inky D name, so that's like, cause
because it'd have been a point of time where Inky D was, it'd have been a point of time where I'd be like, I'm 600, but I'm O Block. It'd have been a point of time where Inky D would be like, he's 600 and he Front Street. So it'd been times where it was only them four and Inky D was on Front Street. It'd have been times where it was only them four and I was in Parkway. So that's why I don't never include them three names out when they say who started 600.
Yeah. I want to ask this not to be controversial, but this popping in my mind. When I had interviewed C-Day on the phone, he said, oh yeah, I gotta include Manny and Inky D. He included them, you know what I'm saying? Like, so how do y'all, what's y'all take on that? Is that like this?
See, what I'm gonna say is, I was there when my little brother came up with that name.
Was they in the hallway wrestling that day, how Inky D said?
No, at the time we was still on 58th and Calumet. Am I wrong, Turk? We was on 58th and Calumet. And some things transpired on our block, which is Wick City, where they were supposed to have been doing these overseers, like this person gonna have this person gonna have that. And it was certain individuals mad that their name may get called, including me, E-Day, and DThang. And my little brother wanted to branch off. My little brother used to have teams. He used to wear teams in the summer, spring, winter, whatever. And he was them drawing on his teams. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, what the fuck is that? Cause 600, you know what I'm saying? He was saying, telling me that this was a block that I'm thinking about doing my own thing. You know what I'm saying? Because he was mad that, my brother gone now, so I can speak, you know, so I'm his voice. He was mad that his name and get called to be an overseer when he felt like that he was doing a lot for this block. You know what I'm saying? Now when it comes to getting the name out there and all that stuff, yeah, you could have different individuals that help the part there, because everybody played a part. Shit don't get built overnight. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, when it came to me, my brother Damo, Bruh, THF, Lil all them, we all had to go to jail. And we played a part with getting these names out there jail-wise. You know what I'm saying? We could talk about that. You know what I'm saying? So anybody taking away from a person helping a block, but as far as starting it, I don't feel like Lil Boo, DThang. You know what I'm saying? I went in early in the flick fires when things was really going up, but I'm one of those people that's right there on the front line as well. You know what I'm saying? People may not know that, but I was there. So that's one thing that I'm not gonna take away from, a part that you probably played into help getting this stuff built, but it's always gonna go to Lil Boo, DThang. And that's just my opinion. Because I wasn't there for the hallway and all that. Not saying it didn't happen.
That's why I said I ain't gonna speak on who, like that's why I said.
Yeah,
like,
I wasn't there for the hallway, but I was there, you know what I'm saying, when my little brother was drawing that on his boots. You remember he used to always do the graffiti on his boots?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And 600 was there.
I get it. So I want to ask this though. This is a valid question. Like, why was it controversy if it's
no jumper, bro? This trigger 600. Turn that down, bro.
Can't turn it off.
Yo. Yeah, man. Did you own no jumper, bro?
What's good? 600, trigger man.
For sure, man. You got anything you want to say to Adam and Remo while you on this month, bro?
Yeah, man. I heard y'all mentioning my name when y'all had Memo up there, man.
For sure, man. You say.
Don't let him get in on host never tears, man. I'm an original real 600 member, man.
For sure, and he need to come speak his mind, man. Y'all need to hear from both sides, man. And
what's up with you and Memo right now?
I'm a family member, man, so I'm gonna say, man, I'm good in my hood, man. I'm thorough.
Why you and Memo been going back and forth on Instagram?
Man, he weird. You gonna come back and beat this over? I made a song chapter 1. You feel like I was talking about him, which I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? I guess if the shoe fit, wear it. You know what I'm saying? The nigga weird, man. When nobody even talking about him in the song.
Oh, so the song wasn't even about him. He just took it wrong. And I think he was saying your clothes cheesy and a whole bunch of shit like that.
I say niggas went up in the field in 2011. You know what I'm saying? They went around my little brother DThang died, which he wasn't. So he feel like I was talking about him. So it went up from there.
Right. No, I get it. I get it.
That's the people on the outside looking in.
People on the outside
yeah,
looking in.
We really inside. On the inside, you feel me? Looking out.
Now, you know, I got a question I got to ask you now, Trigger. You know, there's no way I can let you out without asking this question. And it's the question I'm going to ask you without being police. But I am going to ask you this question.
What's up?
You seem like one of the first people, or maybe I looked at this wrong, I don't know. Maybe you can correct me. What made you get to the point where you say, I'm still fucking with Tay Capone?
Trigger like, and me and Trigger like, man, Trigger like this, bro. Like, and we earned that shit from back then, you know what I'm saying? Like, Trigger got locked up in 2012, so I had to been out here a lot, you know what I'm saying? For me to even have a relationship with Trigger, because he did 10 years. And he backbooked, you know what I'm saying? It just shows you how long I was out here.
Like, you gotta know your personnel.
Right.
So you gotta know how to deal with a motherfucker. Man, when all the shit had came out, when I was locked up, that was supposed to have been on his name and shit. I never switched up on him and shit because I'm around. It's like you handle a situation from experience. So, I'm locked up and I'm around motherfuckers. You'll be on the deck with and shit and they be like, I'm on case with a motherfucker, they snitching on woo woo. Then you might get moved around, get around that person that they on that case with, and come to find out that it was the person that you was just around, he the one snitching. You know what I'm saying? That's one. Two, just because a lot of situations when you see some shit in black and white, it don't even necessarily mean that if that camera ain't in that room and to add up and match that paperwork, the police could falsify that shit how they want to falsify it. That's two. You know what I'm saying? Then I feel like that at the time if I switched up on them and I ain't see no paperwork, then I wouldn't be, because I consider myself a real nigga. So that would have been fake of me. Now I gotta come out and apologize to you like, damn, B, you know what I'm saying? The shit had came out like, nah, the shit wasn't true.
The Black Disciples connection that 600 would be associated with, despite the Wick City origins mixed GDBD character, became more defined over time as the group developed its own identity within the Southside landscape. The specific ways in which 600 positioned itself within the larger gang organizational framework are complex and, frankly, contested in the various accounts available. But the BD association is a documented element of 600's development. What matters for this documentary is not the organizational chart. It is the human reality. Lil Boo and DThang built something. They built a community identity, a set of relationships, a structure of loyalty and obligation, and shared history that would eventually encompass some of the most famous figures in Chicago drill music, including a young man named Davon Bennett, who went by King Von, and another young man named Memo, who would eventually carry the weight of 600's most public and most explosive beef into the social media era. Both Lil Boo and DThang are now gone. Lil Boo was killed in 2014. DThang was killed in 2021, shot and killed in the early morning hours at a bar on the South Side. The two founders of the organization that produced King Von and Memo600 and Tay Capone and the entire cultural ecosystem of Chicago drill, both of them dead. In a story full of losses, those losses are foundational. They are the ground on which everything else in this documentary stands. Wick City became 600. WIC City became O Block. Two naming processes, two communities, both shaped by the same Southside geography, both carrying the weight of their losses in their names. And then, in the early 2010s, as the drill era erupted and social media turned local conflicts into global content, they found each other. And the finding was not peaceful. August 10, 2011, South King Drive near the Parkway Gardens housing complex. A young man named Odee Perry, 20 years old, known in the neighborhood originally from Bluff City before his family's connection to Parkway brought him into the orbit of WIC City, is shot and killed while on a bicycle. The shooting takes place in the early morning hours. Perry is taken to Stroger Hospital, where he is pronounced dead at 12:18 a.m. The Cook County Medical Examiner's Office identifies him. The Chicago Tribune runs a brief report. Man, 20, fatally shot near Southside Housing Complex.
That shit be weird. It's the weirdest shit ever. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It be weird, but it also be a good thing because now it's like motherfuckers get to see the other side. You know what I'm saying? From us. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a motherfucker tell me like, man, y'all don't look approachable and woo out the bam. Y'all copying from us, niggas. You know what I'm saying? Stealing our shit. We named our shit after my brother, so they was like, all right, fuck it. We gonna name our shit after Odee.
So Sugarville was named first.
And now they, when dude got his ass clapped, that's what happened. They named that motherfucking shit Odee.
That's crazy. So those deaths happened around the same time?
Yeah, man, you know what I just found out when I was just on looking that up on YouTube and shit. The nigga Odee died a year after, or 2 years after my brother's birthday. On my brother's birthday. Cause everybody know we celebrate my brother's birthday every year on his birthday and shit, and it's crazy. I was locked up, shit, on my brother's birthday, shit, that's when the nigga got killed.
Yeah, that's
was actually like cousin. That was just,
Yeah, that's my cousin.
Oh, really?
So, you remember when Odee got killed and what that was all like?
I was around when O got killed.
You were like directly there, or?
Yeah, I wasn't. I was right there, but I just wasn't next to him. He got killed out the gate. I was inside the gate.
Really?
Yeah.
And it was just somebody driving by?
I ain't gonna lie, I don't remember, like, there wasn't nobody driving by. Somebody just came to the cut.
Right. Yeah. So, you remember when, like, everybody kind of made the decision to change the name?
Yeah, that shit happened right there. We was getting that O in, getting that O block. It was all right there.
That same day?
Probably like, nah, not the same day. Niggas ain't thinking, man, we finna name this bitch a block.
Yeah. So, all right, can you walk us through that day? Because, like, Odee plays a big part of it and it becoming O block. So, like, what was that day like for everybody?
It felt crazy, that shit. That was really like one of the first losses. We lost Keita. She ain't died from no gunshots and shit like that. So that was really like a big ass loss for us.
Yeah, I knew O. He got killed when I was a shorty. But yeah, I knew O. O blew at me before.
He shot at you before?
Yeah, O blew at me before, man.
What happened in that situation, bro? That's crazy.
Yeah, it was just a little situation where our blocks had a little animosity with each other over some shit that had nothing to do with them. They was actually aiding in the system, Front Street. DThang from Front Street, DThang from my hood, and one of the guys from Front Street had a little issue over a female. You know what I'm saying? And they was blowing at each other. It was like they was shooting at each other and they best friends was shooting at each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? They used to be folks from Front Street and his two besties and DThang from my block and Lil Boo and folks them. Lil Boo and they other bestie. I ain't gonna say his name because he's still alive. But they used to be going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? And then it turned into one of them things where it was a little issue and they end up getting into it one day with folks in them, and O Block was with them. You know, he the type of nigga, folks, ain't finna be no shooting if he ain't busting his gun. Like, so when shit started happening, he started busting his gun. You know what I'm saying? And he was busting that bitch at us. He was busting that bitch at us on King David.
He ain't hit you though.
Nah. He wasn't blowing just at me. It was like a couple of motherfuckers. It was like a lot. It was a little scenery. You know what I'm saying? A little movie.
Man, that's crazy, bro. The dude who O Block is named after was shooting at y'all.
Yeah, on fun them. You feel? But the next day, that shit got squashed. You know what I'm saying? And
somebody shooting at you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, we the guys, folks. So no motherfucker don't get shot or killed. You feel me? Niggas could eradicate. Bro, they ain't always got along. Like, my block specifically was into it with every hood we clicked up with.
For real?
Yeah. Like, we used to get into it with certain niggas from our hood because we was clicked up with other niggas. Like we had homies like a hood called SKD. We used to be clicked up with them. But whole time we was clicked up with them, they was into it with O Block, they was into it with Blackgate. Front Street ain't like them because Front Street was clicked up with Blackgate. We was the only BD hood fucking with these niggas, bro.
Couple bands on me. Middle fingers to your dead homies. Off the Molly, man, I might.
Disrespectful, fuck a Welsh, you get dropped like Odee.
30 make them bop like D-Lo. Smoke a body to the face, I might OD.
Went to the grave and pissed on O.
Lasting, go shoot up, movie, no acting. How the house got this bitch like the casting. Don't ride no bike, can't OD.
Hey, I'm smoking OD mixed with body, I need to stop. Hey, moving like a zombie. Nigga try me, nigga gon' need an army. Think that I'm lacking, but the shit OD. Nigga who made the O. Shit, I bet my neighbors know. Neighborhood intruders, yeah, my shooters, they gon' smoke some. Round like old dog, ain't going out like old no.
You walk so we can leave him like OD. I started on my day with my fuck OD shirt. Fuck OD, fuck OD. Said I won't go this to dead, and okay, I did.
I believe that was your dog.
Yeah, that's my dog.
Homeboy.
Yeah, that's my dog.
And can you talk about him a little bit? There's not too much on him on the internet.
Yeah, my boy O, man, force a motherfucking legend. Force a legend in the streets, like force real life, like you can see it, like look how worldwide his name is, you know what I'm saying? Like the world respect him, you know what I'm saying? Like the world respect O Block. O Block ain't nothing, that ain't nothing but OD, that's OD. Folks was just like a young wild motherfucker, but he had heart, you know, he was fearless. He was like, he ain't had no fear. Ain't nothing he was really scared of, you know what I'm saying?
Was he older than you?
About some months.
Okay, so you guys are about the same age.
May 13th, 1991, November 5th, 1991.
Okay, so, and he passed away in?
2011. 2011, August. I was locked up.
You were locked up when this happened?
Yeah, I was in jail for a pipe.
Okay, was that your first time being arrested?
My second time.
Your second time being arrested, okay. How much time were you doing at this time?
I left 6 months.
The Chicago Sun-Times does the same. In 2011, before King Von had released a single song, before O Block was anything more than a local neighborhood identity, before the drill era had made the south side of Chicago into a globally recognized cultural geography, the death of Odee Perry is a local news item, a brief, a name in a database. What the brief reporting does not capture, what it cannot capture within its genre constraints, is what Odee Perry meant to the people who knew him. He was not simply a name in a report. He was a specific person with specific qualities that his community recognized and valued, qualities that had earned him the kind of reputation that, in his world, translated into leadership, into the position of someone others looked to, into the status of someone whose loss would be felt in a way that transformed the geography itself. The story of how Odee Perry died has multiple versions in the street narrative.
Hands up, cause we gon' fuck your fams up. Wick City dropping shit. Pills, yeah, we popping shit. Drills, yeah, we rocking shit. 30 clips in Yappa's bitch. Me and bro riding around, yeah, we smoking big and loud. Freedom 064 guys, yeah, it's fucking drill time.
Up the line saying some shit that you know some shit. Matter of fact, you ain't even saying you know this shit. You saying, what the fuck he say? He say, motherfucking, he want the, she came back and told him.
As most of these stories do. What the various accounts converge on is this. The shooting happened in the context of an ongoing conflict between the Parkway Gardens, WIC City community, and neighboring enemies. The specific triggering event in that conflict, the death of Shondale Gregory, known as Tuka, on January 12, 2011, 7 months before Odee, is the other foundational death in this chapter of Chicago drill history. Tuka's death preceded Odee's. and Odee's death, in the chronology that the street community reconstructed afterward, is understood as being connected to the dynamics that Tuka's death set in motion, a cycle of violence responding to violence that accelerated through 2011 and would continue to accelerate for years afterward.
Cash ass nigga, swag ass nigga, Tuka, you know what I'm saying? He was a good dude, man. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers don't even really need to know. Tuka did some shit, you know what I'm saying? Now that he gone, ain't like I can implicate him in some shit, you know what I'm saying, that's gonna incarcerate him and shit like that. Tuka did, you know what I'm saying, what he do? Tuka did hits, you know what I'm saying? Tuka was in the streets. Niggas ain't like that, you know what I'm saying? And motherfucking, with Tuka being a young nigga, you know what I'm saying? Tuka was out here motherfucking living his life and he wasn't paying attention, so motherfucker slid up and motherfucker, it was his time to go. You know what I'm saying? But shit, that's when my other niggas slid up and it was time to blow. You know what I'm saying? A couple of your niggas dropped, a couple of they niggas dropped, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that, man. They already know for Lil Tuka ball now. We ain't, you know what I'm saying, born about Tuka. We turned that shit into a celebration, you know what I'm saying? So we gonna let Tuka rest in peace, you know what I'm saying? We gonna rock out for him, you know what I'm saying? We gonna get this bag for him and shit, so.
Hit y'all about what the world been wanna know, man. Like, how was like, what was y'all personal relationship with Tuka, man? Talk about that, man. Honestly.
Like our brother. That's my motherfucking brother, man. Grew up together, shoot shit together, man. Slept the same
for real?
bed. That's when you found out, man.
That nigga fucked up.
I'm a big smoke and a little drink. The L's just the trick and the thumb thing. What you know? What you know about?
Nah.
See, me personally, I'm the shit like fly food. You, I wouldn't try, dude. I'm tired of you niggas thinking you hotter than me. I'll pop you and flee. Actually, mentality. Swag on the rooftop.
Niggas, man. I'm smoking on the Tuka pack, yeah, I'm happy.
Knock on wood, flame me up a wood. Tuka smelling good, look that
burn it. Take a Tuka blunt, then I burned it.
Photo route, I swear I killed her, broke her back. Yo, homie down, I'm smoking that. I'm tired of smelling Tuka in Lamar, and I'm tired of scrap. I'm thinking about creating a new pack. Hey, DQ, who is that?
King dry loud pack, that's fucking Tuka. Don't run.
Laugh right now if you niggas ain't gas them up. Give my shorty stimulus and guns, I tell them slap for nothing.
I just did a hit, yeah, I rock, but I ain't one of you. Hell no, I ain't Nick with this stick, but I'm a drummer too. You bragging, I shoot. All I smoke is Tuka.
Tuka pack and it's loud as fuck.
Tuka. So I'm looking like an Asian. You wiggle, turn your swag on, I wiggle, turn my K on. I'm
famous, make you famous. What you thought it was? Creep through the 6, he thought it was. I'm smoking Tuka, caught a buzz.
The specific names and specific attributions in that cycle are contested and, in many cases, legally sensitive. People have been charged, convicted, or remain under investigation for deaths that intersect with this period. We name what can be named responsibly and acknowledge the contested terrain as contested. What is not contested is the aftermath. After Odee Perry's death, the people of Parkway Gardens made a decision that is simultaneously practical and profound. They renamed the block. WIC City became O Block. The O was for Odee, not a memorial plaque, not a formal ceremony, a name change, a total community-wide adoption of a new identity organized around the loss of a specific person. A-Dog, one of the key voices in the 600 O Block narrative that this documentary has tracked across all 4 parts, has spoken about what Odee Perry actually did in concrete terms to earn the honor of having the block named after him. His account, captured in a Tay Capone news interview that reached over 33,000 views, emphasizes that the naming was not arbitrary, that Odee was not simply the first person from the block to die in a violent conflict, that there were specific qualities, specific things he did, specific positions he held, specific ways he showed up for the people around him, that made his death the one that fundamentally changed the identity of the place. What E-Dog describes in the specific language of that world is a leader. Not in the boardroom sense, in the block sense. Someone whose presence organized the community around him, whose death left a void that could not be filled, only marked. Only written into the geography so that everyone who came after would know what was lost and feel the weight of it every time they said the name of the place where they lived. O Block. 2 letters. 20 years old. A bicycle. A summer night. An ending that turned into a beginning that turned into everything that followed. This is where it starts. Before King Von. Before Lil Durk. Before FBG Duck, before Munna Duke, before the clubhouse sessions and the federal indictments and the documentary series with hundreds of thousands of collective views. It starts here, on a night in August, with a young man whose death his community refused to let disappear.
Tay Capone is one of the most consistently honest voices in the documentation of Chicago drill politics. He is not always the most diplomatic, he is not always the most cautious, but he is, in the specific tradition that this channel values, someone who speaks from direct experience rather than from what he heard someone else say, and who makes clear distinctions between what he knows and what he believes. When Tay Capone sat down for his April 2023 interview, a conversation that covered multiple chapters of Chicago's drill-era history, he said something about Odee Perry that very few people have said on camera with the same specificity. He talked about Odee shooting at him, at members of 600, when they were young, in the specific period of the early conflict between the two sides, before either side had the global visibility that drill music and social media would eventually give them. This testimony, available in the A Humble Soul clip from December 23 that captured over 68,000 views on that channel alone, is remarkable for several reasons. First, because it is coming from a 600 member talking about Odee Perry, the man the other side named their block after, the man who is, in the mythology of O Block, a foundational figure. Tay Capone is not mythologizing him. He is describing a specific, dangerous, operational reality. Odee Perry was shooting at people on the 600 side when they were all young men on the south side of Chicago, before any of this was famous, before any of this was documented. Second, because it situates the Odee versus 600 conflict in a period that predates most of what YouTube and social media have documented about the war. The conflict between 600 and O Block did not begin with King Von's music. It did not begin with FBG Duck. It did not begin with the Memo and Duke dice game. It begins, if Tay Capone's account is to be believed, and there is no documentary evidence to contradict it, and Akademiks. In the period when Odee Perry was still alive, when he was an active participant in the conflict that would eventually bear his name. Third, and this is the part that is most important for understanding the full arc of this series, because it establishes that the war between 600 and O Block is not a product of any single incident. It is a pre-existing condition. A chronic enmity with roots that go back to before either side's most famous members were old enough to fully understand what they were participating in. Tay Capone's account describes the specific texture of early Southside conflict in this era, the way that proximity and enmity and territorial claiming and street politics created situations of constant potential violence, where running into someone from the wrong block in the wrong circumstances could escalate instantly to gunfire, where the question of who shot first and who was responding was not always clear even to the people directly involved, because the sequence of provocations and responses had been running for so long that the original triggering event was buried under layers of retaliation. He spoke about it with a specific quality that people who have actually been through something bring to their accounts. The absence of performance, the flatness of remembered fear, the specific detail that cannot be manufactured by someone who wasn't there. He was young. Odee was shooting at him. It was real. He survived. And now he is telling it on camera, years later, in a world where Odee Perry is a name on a block and a reference point in a drill mythology that has spread across the globe. The Odee who shot at Tay Capone and the Odee who has the block named after him are the same person. That is the complexity that documentary storytelling has to hold. The person who was made into a symbol is also the person who was doing specific things in the streets before the symbol existed.
Odee ain't killed no Tuka, man. Oh, everybody in the streets know that goddamn it, Odee and them ain't killed Tuka. Everybody know this. I don't know, man. It's like people just getting on, people just doing interviews, man, just making up shit, man. Like, that's one thing about me, I ain't gonna make up nothing. Odee, he was a cool dude, bro, and all that shit, bro, but like he wasn't like what people be saying he is, man. Like, he ain't like, he like that anybody could shoot, but nah, he ain't killed Tuka, man. He ain't killed Tuka.
Both things are true simultaneously. The symbol does not erase the history. The history does not erase the humanity of the person. What Tay Capone's testimony adds to this series, in this final chapter, where we are going back to the beginning to understand the end, is the crucial evidence that the beef between 600 and O Block has roots that are older than any individual incident, including the dice game, including Boo Man's death, including all of the events that Part 3 documented in exhaustive detail. It is not a new war that started with Memo and Duke. It is an old war that Memo and Duke inherited, participated in, and eventually personalized to the degree that it became the most documented iteration of the conflict, but it was already there before them. Odee was already shooting at 600 before any of the famous names in this documentary were old enough to be in the room. And that pre-existing war is the inheritance that both Memo600 and Munna Duke were handed without ever being asked whether they wanted it.
Between the death of Odee Perry in August 2011 and the death of FBG Duck in August 2020, the conflict between O Block and Tukaville, with 600 in complex relationship to both sides of that specific war.
Took his pipe. You want to show it in front of some hoes on O.
Munna Duke shot Memo600. I guess it was a beef during the dice game. Munna Duke had to pull a blick out. You know, that kind of explains why Memo600 been dissing Munna Duke ever since he died. He was going hard on Munna Duke. But remember, Munna Duke was going hard on Memo600 for he passed away.
He ain't never put a belt to ass and no motherfucker day in his life. I don't really take people like that serious, man. You gotta know him, man. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker like me that been around, that I know every motherfucker. And a motherfucker like him, I can't take serious.
News was finally confirmed. We heard the rumors that Munna Duke shot Memo600, but Munna Duke never stamped this. Memo600 never stamped this. It was once upon a time where they almost talked about this, but Memo600 was like, that's police, that's police. And then Munna Duke was like, they don't gotta know what I'm talking about. But that's about it.
Hey, you hear me?
All right, you said what you said earlier. We ain't got to talk. I won't give a fuck if you merged on JoJo.
Listen,
you said what you said earlier, gang.
You know what the fuck I do, you know what I'm saying? So you better stop playing. You play, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, dude.
You, Memo, you.
Y'all recruit goofies got them playing with me. What the fuck wrong with y'all?
I told you that person anyway.
You police? Police?
Memo, I seen you and Memo kind of had some issues on the internet not too long ago.
What about him? What you said some issue?
From what it says right here, Memo tells Munna Duke he's putting belt to ass when he catch him.
He ain't never put a belt to ass and no more day in his life. I don't really take people like that serious, man. You gotta know him, man. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker like me that been around, that I know every motherfucker. And a motherfucker like him, I can't take serious, you know what I'm saying? He can't step a foot on my block. He will never step a foot on my block. Never.
Memo used to be really cool right there, cause I think he shot at least one video there before, right?
Yeah, that was before a lot of shit transpired. You know what I'm saying? So at once upon a time he was able to come over there, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of shit changed, so that shit he can't step a foot over there.
Produced a casualty list that, if laid out in full, would constitute one of the most devastating indictments of Chicago's street conditions in the drill era. Understanding the full architecture of that conflict requires acknowledging a few structural features that made it self-perpetuating in ways that individual choices could not reverse. The first structural feature is geographic proximity. 600 and O Block are close enough to each other that the territories overlap in the spaces between. The parks, the transit corridors, the commercial streets that neither side fully controls, but both sides move through. Geographic proximity means that encounters are not rare. They are frequent. And in the context of active enmity, frequent encounters are frequent opportunities for violence. The second structural feature is the kill-for-kill logic of retaliation. Every death on either side creates an obligation, felt as a moral obligation, not merely a strategic one, to respond with violence against the other side. That obligation is encoded in the code that both sides claim. It is not optional. It is not subject to negotiation or de-escalation. It is within the value system of this world the fundamental requirement of loyalty. You do not let your people's deaths go unanswered, and because neither side is able to simply stop the cycle by unilaterally ceasing retaliation, because doing so would be understood as weakness, as abandonment of the people who died. The cycle continues indefinitely, each death generating the obligation for the next death. The third structural feature is the way that fame accelerated and publicized the conflict. Before the drill era, the war between 600 and O Block was a local conflict known to the people inside it and their immediate community. After Chief Keef and the early drill rappers made Chicago's street conflicts into the subject matter of globally distributed music.
2011, 12, we was ready to shoot over anything. Nigga, you step on my shoes, on BD, we blowing. On BD, Fredo get out right in the next, all that shit going on between O Block and 600. It's like we shooting at each other, but we ain't even into it. We motherfuckers got their little separate wars, bro. On BD. Fredo get out, me Lil Steve and D-Rose walk to Front Street. Yeah, nigga, I'm home now. Ain't no more of that 600 shit. Whoa! On BD before I go back to the hood, go get C-Day. C-Day wasn't trying to hit. I was like, what? On BD, it was a shootout after that. King David, they had to go up. King David, yeah. Only real blockheads know this type of shit though. Next day, Big Rollin' from the front, he come right to the hood. On BD.
And after King Von specifically made O Block's story into one of the most compelling narratives in drill music history, the conflict became visible to an audience that had no stake in it, no direct knowledge of it, and no capacity to either de-escalate it or protect the people inside it. What fame did, paradoxically, was make the conflict more dangerous. Because fame generates attention, and attention generates risk. And the specific kind of fame that comes from making music about street violence tends to attract the exact kind of violence it documents. The fourth structural feature, and this is the one that the final chapter of this series is specifically built around, is the way that the conflict reached into and corrupted the trust structures that should have protected the communities on both sides. The war did not just kill people, it created the conditions for snitching. Because when you are facing federal mandatory minimums, or state charges with decades attached, the only leverage you have is information. And information in this world means people. Means the specific knowledge of who did what, when, where, and with whom. Means the code breaking down at the seams under the specific pressure that only a federal prosecutor with a RICO statute and a cooperating witness can generate. The snitching dimension of this story, on both sides in ways that are documented, verified, and devastating, is the chapter that YouTube channels most often approach carefully and from a distance. Because the accusation of snitching in this world carries physical consequences. Because the people who can contradict the accusation are often not in a position to do so publicly. because the documentation, the actual paperwork, is sometimes public and sometimes not. And the difference between having paper and being accused of having paper is not always clear in the social media environment where these accusations circulate. In this final chapter, we are not approaching it carefully. We are going directly in, with the specific people, the specific cases, the specific dynamics, and the acknowledgement always of what is confirmed versus what is alleged versus what is disputed. Because the full story of 600 versus O Block is not just a story of people shooting at each other. It is a story of people testifs. Because the full story of 600 versus O Block is not just a story of people shooting at each other. It is a story of people testifying against each other, filing affidavits, wearing wires, taking the stand. And the moral accounting of that dimension of the story is at least as complicated as the moral accounting of the violence.
No, what I'm talking about. The one who I just laughed at.
Oh, Trenches?
Oh, yeah, he was pretty geeked. He was hyped.
What's your thoughts on Trenches News then? I know you've been seeing the paperwork, everybody saying that Trenches News is probably the cooperator, or one of the people who cooperated on Duck's case. You believe that?
I talked to him about that shit, though. I had sent it to him.
And what'd he say to you?
He said, what the fuck did he say? He tried to switch some shit around. Hey, him, me, and AK-47, they did some whole weird shit. I'm like, bro, what is he on? He sent some shit like, I sent him the shit and he responded like 3 days later. I'm like, damn, what's this shit? They saying you the police. He like, bro, man, I ain't no police. You gonna see when it really come out. And I'm like, I ain't really taking shit. I don't really get no fuck. I just want to know, it's just like, did you really cooperate with the police? Like, that ain't my place to be saying your ass a snitch. Like, I don't really know you for doing no street shit or killing nobody or like to like fault you for snitching. Like, I really look at a lot of motherfuckers like that too. So for him to like be like on some shit, so when this shit come out, they want me to be like, oh yeah, you being biased and shit. Like, why you ain't say this shit about your homie? What the fuck is I'm supposed to say about my homie? This y'all job to say that shit. I don't supposed to be saying that shit. I don't get no fuck what y'all say. That's y'all opinion.
So did you know Tay 600? Because you was one of the people, because all right, so Tay got mixed people saying that he snitched, and he didn't snitch. And then I think you went on DJU and you said, fuck all that, he did snitch. So like, how do you, there's a lot of people saying he didn't snitch. So how do you saying he snitched?
Right. Yeah. I don't got shit against Tay 600, man. I just say the interview, like somebody just asked him about the Mad Max shit. Like, he like, yeah, that's up for his homies to say. Like, he know what type of nigga I'm is on some street shit. I don't know. I ain't gonna say he's scared or no shit like that. I know Tay 600. Tay 600 was a gangster, like before the snitch allegations and shit. But he know, like, he know I ain't lying. I ain't finna like, I ain't got shit against him. Like, before I put that shit out, I DM'd him and said, you know I'm about to call your ass a snitch on this interview. I ain't just say that shit. I sent that shit to him. I told my homie. I DM'd him and I wasn't following him, so I'm like, he ain't finna see that shit. So when I got out of jail, one of the guys was following, I'm like, damn, y'all still following dude? I'm like, tell him I'm finna say something about him in this interview. When my homie told him, he like, man, why you coming at me for? I ain't never got into it with him. I ain't never did nothing wrong to him. I'm like, bro, that shit not cool, for like, you got somebody in jail for 40 fucking years.
But how did he? Because the thing is, they saying that he took his statement back or something.
Man, listen, man, ain't no taking no statement back once that motherfucker there. You said it, bro. That's all it take is a statement to get locked up. Like, if he shoot me, even if he ain't fucking shoot me, I could call the police right now and say, man, Adam 22 robbed me. And they gonna believe me. That's all they need. That's a statement. That shit strong. All that taking shit back, by the time you took it back, somebody in jail already. What the fuck you mean? He took it back. It's already, the damage been done already. That shit gonna take a minute for
Public records. All you gotta do is go to the Danny Center.
All you gotta do is go to the Cook County, Chicago. Tay Capone, that's your name. You went to the grand jury, bro. You know you did, man. You just paid the fifth. You paid the fifth on the stand. So that makes you not a rat. But you see the reason why I'm here. You see the reason why me and Gang here. You the one who said I did. You said I did the shit. You a fucking rat, man. All the fucking witnesses that's on my case, y'all ask them, who the fuck was the witness with them? I bet they say Tay Capone. Y'all look at the statement of facts in my motherfucking case. Y'all gonna see that the police, the state was trying to track down our witnesses. One of the names is Tay Capone. He just paid the fifth. That's how it's sitting out of my transcript. That's how it's sitting out at the stage of my direct appeal. Me at 22 ain't ever made no motherfucking statement. Oh, Steve, nigga, I live this long, nigga, to say real, nigga. I'm born a die real, nigga. Oh, Steve, I'm a die real, nigga. Oh, LA, it's me, this my life. Oh, phone them. The Mad Daddy Center, man. Cook County, man. So y'all won't think a motherfucker putting...
Don't let this shit distract y'all from the fact niggas getting their chains and their pipes took either. Let's not... Been calling all night. I just want to see where your head at. I just pull up in front of your house inside that Maybach, yeah. These niggas out here. Naming, calling them the soul shooter. Nigga around this bitch. Snitching on everybody. Rondo gonna snitch on his mama. They gonna be in the paperwork. Yeah, my mama used to fold my drawers and Big Swirl used to wear my coats and that damn it. I remember when I had diarrhea and Gotti went and got me some Pepto-Bismol and thinking that Monte drawers was blue and he had a left shit stain on the you worked hard for. Don't let no nigga take shit from you, bro. Unless you know you gonna kill behind it. Now if you know you about to do some slide on Lil Boo, okay. We alright, you can have this shit. A motherfucker gonna be out of there that night. But if you a bitch ass nigga and you know you ain't about to sling no line, bro, Lil Boo. You might as well die in his Cuban links. Yeah, you might as well die. Die in his Cuban links. Cause you just
yeah, man. Look. Hey, all that silly ass shit. They can have that shit, all that trolling ass shit. We ain't with none of that shit. That shit real, Trench is real. We still in these bitches. Any motherfucker that even got anything implicated on some paperwork, if your name involved on some paperwork, stay that way. We don't want nothing to do with it. Cause you ain't gonna catch my name or none of my people's name and none of that shit. So whoever name in that shit, take that up with them. They ain't got nothing to do with my people.
You told on Big P, nigga. Yo, gas. The niggas that you around hanging with, the one said you told on Big P. Merchant, I'm lying. On King David. T.Y., you told on Big P. 9. Come on, I'm a rat, nigga. You told on Big P, nigga. Yo, guys, you in the line. Nigga, yo, guys, you hang with your crowd said you snitch, you goofy ass nigga. You goofy ass nigga, your crowd.
That they consider snitching because everybody started trying to say you was a snitch from the interrogation.
They always
shit.
gonna say you a snitch when you in there telling them people something that you really ain't supposed to be telling them. I already knew what was going on. Y'all trying to get him off the hook, put me on the hook.
So in the interrogation room, you told them you ain't never implicated Von's name. You was just telling them that you did it.
No, I did say his name. I did say he was with me. Oh. I ain't say he shot no motherfucker about it. But I said I did.
But you just by telling him he was with you, you kind of just put him in it.
Right. That's considered snitching. You feel me? That's considered snitching.
And why did you even say his name?
Boo.
They had him because old girl, or they had him because you said
Man, they had him because of all of them. I didn't get him booked, my nigga. Don't let the people fool you. I didn't get him booked.
So then in the appeal, what did you say about Von to...
The appeal was basically y'all don't know if I'm the one shot dude or if he shot dude.
Which is kind of like... almost snitching on him because saying you making it seem like hey, it could have been him who shot.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I ain't ducking it.
So I can request to remember this. Did you or did you not snitch? Oh, so what you do?
Bro, I ain't do shit. I let them people know, but that ain't my shit, boy.
Why y'all
you trying to get
I'm not trying to, I want to see, because I got to remember this, because I be getting hot, so I forget a lot of stuff. So, I just see a police body camera getting that bag is his gun. That's just blow bag with the gun in it. Did you not say that?
Bro, we ain't respecting no rep. I got 20 years in there. If you snitch, nigga, you better do that paperwork. Go check that.
So, did you or did you not say that?
No.
Go back to the body roll camera right now. Go back to it. Because you just said that shit on the camera, man.
Is what is alleged versus what is disputed. Because the full story of 600 versus O Block is not just a story of people shooting at each other. It is a story of people testifs. Because the full story of 600 versus O Block is not just a story of people shooting at each other. It is a story of people testifying against each other, filing affidavits, wearing wires, taking the stand. And the moral accounting of that dimension of the story is at least as complicated as the moral accounting of the violence. His name in the street community was Boo Man. His connection to this story is simple and devastating. He was Memo600's cousin. He came to Chicago from somewhere else, the specific geography of his origins being less documented in the public record than the fact of his death. And he died in a car on a night when the car he was riding in became the target of a shooting that was specifically aimed by all available accounts at Memo600. We're at the edge of O Block territory near 63rd and King. A late evening dice game forms in the courtyard. Cash on concrete, backs to the brick, lookouts near the gate, macro shots of dice and crumpled bills, silhouettes circle a faint street light. Caption, neutral money, not neutral ground. Convention matters. The house is the block, the etiquette is proximity. Side bets flare, eyes stay moving, you don't flash, you don't linger. Accounts converge, Memo is in the circle, his cousin Boo Man is nearby, the money builds, the noise draws ears. Map inset, second path slides toward the gate from King Drive. Shadows lengthen along the breezeway. Movement, two figures approach the game from close range. No warning shots, close quarters, fast, quick cuts, dice scatter, silhouettes flinch, hands grab belts. Slow motion, cash and dice in the air, no gore. Gunfire, panic. People break toward the breezeway, people break toward the gate. Some duck behind the mailboxes, others cut left along the brick, later struck. Memo gets separation. Multiple clips claim he clears the line of fire and runs out toward the main street. His cousin ends up in a car that becomes the target of follow-up shots. Counter-narrative disputes who was targeted, disputes who was present. Questions whether Memo's account inflates his escape, minimizes a planned hit at the dice game. Questions the timeline that places Memo at the center. Balanced graphic. Converging facts versus contested details. Converging location. Converging presence of an active dice game. Converging rapid close-range gunfire. Converging Boo Man's death. Contested target intent. Contested Memo's exact route and actions. Contested number of shooters, weighing sources, street interviews, reposted clips, posts later deleted. Core is solid, but the edges blur. Consistent, a public game on O Block turf turned kinetic in seconds.
These bitches doing all type of dicks. They loving me, fanned out, ooh. But to them niggas, them old hoes, we been slutting these bitches out, you know, ooh. Right. You come to these bitches in a, oh, these bitches doing dicks, they niggas feel like, all right, them bitches been slutted out, but why feel like that towards them niggas, you know? On still, it's so much different type of shit going on, gang. Like, I don't even know how to explain it, gang. That's why I don't.
So let me ask you this, Memo.
I don't downplay the shit Tay 600, Tay Capone, whatever he call himself. I don't downplay the shit he be saying. Like, he be saying real shit, gang, but.
What you mean? Real shit
like,
as far as what?
all the shit he be saying, gang. I'm right here right now to tell you, like, half the shit be saying it be, you know. Gang, I don't want to make it like no whole group thing, but I got my personal fuck yous and, like, you know, like, it's personal shit that I got going with niggas who I got going on. Folks will understand. That's like me saying, Von and tour with Odee, and folks them love each other to death. Like, that's real shit. We got real connections and bonds with niggas, but folks gonna merch it on folks, but I don't have to fuck with other folks because I love folks. Like, you know.
My friends are not
You
your
feel me?
friends.
That's not, hell no, gang. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Fuck Duke. On Lil Steve, I'm right here on your platform to
Fuck
tell
out
you.
my DM talking about sorry for your loss. We ain't lost shit on Steve. That's how you feel?
Yeah, hell yeah. Fuck Munna Duke on Lil Steve.
That's crazy, bro.
Do you hear me dissing Youngin?
No, I don't.
Youngin got killed with Duke. Do you hear me dissing Smooth? I don't diss them niggas, gang.
Right, Smooth was the other guy that was shot, right?
Yeah, whatever they said on the blogs, but I don't diss none of that shit, gang. But when I got shot, Duke thought it was cool to troll me. So that he got caught lacking and died, fuck that I got caught lacking and shot. When he got caught lacking and died, it was cool for him to troll me. But everybody think that shit was cute and funny, but cause he checked out, it was cool. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Your grown goofy ass shouldn't have been doing what you doing on Steve. First of all, you a Muslim. You got caught at a restaurant called Pork Chop. The fuck is you doing at a restaurant called Pork Chop and you a Muslim? Like, for real, all of them should have been on your ass anyway. Like, for real, gang. Them niggas with them pillowcases on their head, all that shit, they should have been on your ass on Steve. But nah. You feel me, gang? Don't make it like I'm the bad guy. But when it was him, it was cute and cuddly, all that shit. But now that he dead, it's, oh, you bogus, what would Von think? Like, on Steve, Von is a real nigga. I'm not even finna bring folks up in that.
Nah,
like,
cause
like,
what
for
do
real.
you think? What would Von think? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Folks will tell you, like, all y'all goofy. On my kids, on Steeler, Trill McGee Jr., Von will tell you all y'all goofy for even playing with each other like that. But hey, this life, man. On Steve McGee, folks not here right now, so, and folks know how I felt about him, about E, like all the real shit.
Okay, well, about folks being here, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't have that much love for DThang if you dissing a nigga that his woman involved with.
First of all, that
I'm
nigga,
just saying.
listen, that bitch ain't giving.
I don't mean to keep bringing Munna Duke up. I'm just saying,
let me talk. That
no,
nigga,
cause you fool, gang.
Listen, that bitch ain't give a fuck about DThang if she fuck with a nigga that was around with folks in them.
Well, I mean, mama gotta have a life too.
Man, if you don't get your nothing ass up out of here, that bitch ain't give a fuck about DThang if she went to fuck with a nigga that was in a circle. On my kids, gang. Tell me I'm wrong. We right here to be real, right? Or fake. First of all, that bitch wouldn't have won the circle.
She ain't wrong.
Man, if you don't get so, man.
All
right, I'm out of here. Cut.
Okay, go ahead.
That bitch wouldn't have did phone them dick if she wasn't. If it was that, she wouldn't have went and fucked and sucked on food.
Boy, for sure. Man, I'm trying to see. You can't even come over there. Over where? On my. On house?
On house?
He smelled the weed.
Nah, just recruited him a couple years ago too on stage.
No big fast car. You don't even be outside.
Fuck you talking about? Hey, y'all drop that new nigga. I'm not arguing with no new niggas, folks. I told y'all I treat him check any motherfucker. His ass new. You know, boy, yo, with the missing tooth from AMG, whatever the fuck they call themselves over there.
Police is 4-way, man.
Mac Block. Mac Block.
Hey, who the fuck is this on here?
Why y'all drop one of y'all members?
Hey, who is this on here?
He ain't no member. That's who you did earlier.
Hey, you hear me?
All right, you said what you said earlier. We ain't got to talk.
Hey,
I wouldn't give a fuck if you merged on JoJo.
Listen, man.
You said what you said earlier, gang.
You know what the fuck I do, you know what I'm saying? So you better stop playing. You play, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, dude.
You, Memo, you.
Y'all recruit goofies got them playing with me. What the fuck wrong with y'all?
I told you that personally anyway.
You police? police,
Yeah,
gang. You police
I know.
on here.
All right. I'm talking to you though. You personally, just you.
We ain't finna do
Ain't no motherfucker else got nothing to do. I'm talking to you.
Don't kick me.
Yeah,
Hey,
that
I
shit
talked
back
to you.
quiet.
I talked to you earlier.
That shit
I
just
told you
backfired.
earlier that ass man, Duke. You can stop that on this clubhouse
Stop
shit.
name dropping, man. We ain't doing all that. We ain't doing all that.
Hey,
Crazy, blood.
hey, Mr. Tooth, I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to O Block members.
That's why you keep dropping me, you fake bitch ass nigga.
I'm dropping you because
I like
you not
that.
from the O. You want to phone them whack homies on stage.
I got V's on my shit, dumbass.
I ain't talking to you, gang. You the police, boy. And I
got
just
V's
heard.
on my shit, dumbass.
I just heard you was the feds. Why you yelling shit like that anyway? No, folks, no. Yeah, listen to phone them in the background.
He muted up after that one.
On Lusty, that shit on all blog sites, nigga. They talking about his ass. Please, nigga, y'all know what the fuck y'all know.
I don't know shit. I'm
I
asking.
just thought that shit that was on gang hit.
On Lusty, nigga. But everybody acting like they ain't see that. So look how lame ass song, man. I hate that I be telling facts on stage.
That boy be more motherfucker, boy.
No, I just know the
You
truth.
just like me, folks.
I know the truth, nigga. On Lusty, that's all. They want to go get they big homies on stage. Like they want to get their ass treated too. I don't fuck with nobody over there but E-Dog on LA, boy.
Consistent, Memo survived. Consistent, his cousin did not. Memo recounts more tries, different nights, different corners, same math, move, notice, survive. Some details shift with time and platform, but the through line is consistent. Pressure didn't lift. He describes cars that reappear 2 blocks later, phones that ring when a location slips, pull-ups that feel rehearsed. Not every close call is provable. Enough are plausible to change how a person sits, stands, breathes. You don't park in patterns, you clock mirrors without thinking, you pick walls over windows, sleep gets lighter, trust gets narrower, the body writes a new operating system, always on, rarely off. Analytically, the reports stack as a pattern, not a ledger. The specifics are partly contested, but the behavioral evidence is loud. The man telling it and the city around him corroborate each other. Slow roll past 63rd and King at night, then blacktop turning blue. Pulse. Personal note. Count the attempts if you want. The number won't teach you more than the posture will. Survival isn't just getting away once. It's carrying the cost, morning after morning. The threat was sustained, the vigilance became normal, and whatever else is debated, one fact remains. Memo is still alive, and the price of that is visible in how he moves through a day. In the street, snitch is simple and absolute. If you talk to law enforcement in a way that harms your side, you're marked. It isn't a legal category, it's a social verdict, with consequences that outlast the case. Strategically, the word is a weapon. It isolates targets, it fractures trust, it rewrites reputations. Both sides have used it, both sides have been hit by it. On-screen disclaimer card, we reference court records, not rumors. Our standard here is documentary, court transcripts, plea agreements, proffers, discovery letters, filed cooperation motions, clerk stamping pages, close-up of blacked out lines. Legally, cooperation has forms. Some appear in plea paperwork, some surface in sentencing memos, some remain sealed. Absence of public proof is not proof of innocence or guilt. It's simply absence of evidence we can responsibly cite. On-screen disclaimer card, symmetry across both sides, documented cases only. Analytically, we separate 3 lanes. Allegation, circulating claim with no court support, conviction. That's the lane he chose. Measured. Public. 30,000 views worth of measured. From a 600 voice about a 600 name. The politics get tight there. You're not just debating ops, you're answering your own. The bind is structural-only documents, case actors, or hard counter docs can clear it. Some of that is sealed, some of that is gone. In the vacuum, the question circulates. It edits the room before you walk in. We don't resolve it here. We record it. What's known, what's alleged, what's disputed, what it costs to carry a label you can't disprove overnight, and what it costs a block when standards are spoken out loud. Direct, balanced, forensic. If Chapter 11 laid out the 600 side of cooperation, Symmetry demands we turn the lens to Parkway Gardens. Same standard, same burden of proof, no myths on either side. The street story says the code holds. The record says pressure tests everyone. Federal pressure, RICO mandatory minimums. Conspiracy enhancements doesn't care about anthems or murals. It measures leverage, and leverage talks. Here's what the public record supports. Cooperation tied to O-Block was real. Not rumor-fed, document-fed. In multiple proceedings, federal state individuals with documented connections to Parkway Gardens provided information for consideration. Some of that information was peripheral. Some of it was central. Central means it helped secure convictions inside the same orbit. We do not expand beyond what can be verified. Names that exist only in comments or threads stay off this track. Names anchored in filings, transcripts, reporter-verified documents qualify. Even then, we separate allegation, adjudicated fact, proffer, testimony, probable cause, verdict. This is not a scoreboard, it's a mirror. The mythology that one side held fast while the other folded isn't supported by the paper. Both sides broke under sufficient weight. The same government that neither side recognized when things were up became the referee when the clock ran out. King Von was real. Duck was real. The grief is real. Loyalty is real. But the complete truth includes the docket. And the docket is colder than folklore. Graphic. Standard of evidence, court record, or verified reporting only. We won't resolve the culture war here. We will document the legal one. What's known, what's alleged, what's disputed. He's recalling an exchange. The name ODE sits there. Matter of fact, in the middle of that recall, years later, on record. The past doesn't vanish. It archives itself in bodies and memory. Here, it speaks in a single sentence. ODE shot at 600. Tay Capone remembers. There is a tradition in war documentation. Name the dead and the wounded as people, not numbers. That is the work here. Somber, respectful, specific. Odee Perry. 20 years old. August 10th, 2011. Shot and killed near Parkway Gardens. The block took his name. O-Block exists because of his death. Shondale Gregory, Tuca. 17. January 12, 2011, shot and killed. His name became a reference point in drill's geography of loss. FBG Brick, killed. The first FBG loss in a chain leading to FBG Duck. FBG Cash, shot multiple times, survived. Survival is its own wound. FBG Duck, Carlton Weekly, 26. August 4, 2020, Gold Coast, Chicago. Shot and killed in a public daytime ambush. 5 O-Block affiliates were later charged in a federal superseding indictment. The case stands as a central federal action in this era. Memo600's cousin, Boo Man, killed in the car shooting that targeted Memo, not a combatant, family, gone. Munna Duke, Kendall Jameson, reported shot and killed, an influential O-Block figure. His loss marked a watershed. Tay Capone, Cameron LaCroix, 17, September 2013, one of the earliest defining losses for 600 in the drill era. Lil Reese, Tavares Taylor, survived multiple shootings including a serious 2019 wounding. Survival here is a near miracle, and still a cost carried forward. And then, the unnamed, the underreported. People shot and not killed whose stories never entered a database. People hit in proximity to a target. People in the wrong place, the wrong minute. The public record is a surface. Beneath it is a larger total of human damage. This was never confined to combatants. It spilled into the community. children nearby, bystanders, neighbors, the city's year-by-year gun data, the Tribune and Sun-Times databases. They map not just a war between 600 and O Block, but a neighborhood living inside an active conflict's blast radius. The past does not vanish, it accumulates, in names, in bodies, in memory. This accounting insists that each loss is a person, that the wounded carry what cannot be seen, and that the community paid. The federal government enters a neighborhood conflict like an ocean tide, slow, cold, and difficult to stop. It does not move with the urgency of the block. It moves on calendar time, quarters, fiscal years, multi-year investigations. Its tools are institutional. Title III, wiretaps, pen registers, geofence warrants, grand juries, subpoenas to platforms, cooperating witnesses, a lyric, a caption, a call at 2:13 a.m. The statute that binds it together is RICO, an architecture that converts discrete acts into an enterprise narrative and asks a jury to see pattern, not incident. Operation Black Amigo is the flagship case in this story. A federal superseding indictment in the Northern District of Illinois, charging 5 defendants with the murder of FBG Duck as part of an alleged racketeering enterprise tied to Parkway Gardens. It is the government saying, one daytime ambush is not just one event, it is a node in a network. Under RICO, the past is admissible context. Posts, prior shootings, coded references, jail calls, evidence of continuity. This is not the only net. Parallel state and federal matters touching 600 and O Block have moved through the same pipeline. Long investigations leveraged pleas enhancement threats, mandatory minimums that recalculate loyalty. Some cases reached headlines, others did not. Their effects are identical. Travel bans through pre-trial conditions, phones seized and mirrored group chats mapped defendants separated and pressured. Cooperation is not portrayed as virtue here. It is engineered outcome. The sentence structure and the charge stacking make silence statistically irrational. In RICO, one cooperator can translate years of digital residue into a story the jury understands. Pressure begets cooperation. Cooperation begets accusations. Accusations escalate conflict online. Escalation creates more conduct. More conduct feeds the next case. Both communities live inside that loop. One side's marquee indictment, Black Amigo, anchors the public narrative. The other side's cases, some federal, some state, anchor the private reality, closed hearings, sealed filings, redacted discovery protective orders that conceal who said what until the trial calendar forces disclosure. The trust that held blocks together corrodes not on the street, but in conference rooms. Plea talks, proffer sessions, guideline calculations. The government's target is not just violence, it is organization. RICO's enterprise theory allows prosecutors to argue that the culture sustaining the conflict, the signals, the roles, the expectations, is the mechanism of crime. In that frame, a video is not expression, it is potential overt act. A post is not bravado, it is potential corroboration. A phone is not a device, it is a diary the state can read. For the people named in this series, the practical consequences are plain. Years-long watch lists, flights flagged, cars stopped, bonds denied, music, scrutinized, friendships cross-examined. For the blocks, the strategic consequence is clearer. Leadership churn, internal suspicion, fragmented messaging, and a timeline controlled by an agency that does not need to hurry. Scene 18 counted the wounded. The federal net counts something else. Patterns. The city experiences both tallies at once. One sits in memory, the other sits in pacer. And the government, methodical, patient, still listening, keeps writing the next chapter. We return to the dice game. We return to the dice game. We return to the dice game. Multiple sources align on 3 fixed points. The room, the money in motion, and the moment Munna Duke draws. Frames from phone video, the 16-shot M reconstruction, the Chicago Scene 88 thread. Together they place a second figure in Duke's orbit, his cousin. Sequence, as best the public record allows. Entry. Duke arrives with at least one additional participant. The cousin is present, close enough to be in the camera's catchment and in witnesses' recall. The trigger moment, shots erupt.
I went, knocked Duke out. Took his pipe. You want to show it up from some hoes on hold.
Munna Duke shot Memo600. I guess it was a beef during the dice game. Munna Duke had to pull a blick out. You know, that kind of explains why Memo600 been dissing Munna Duke ever since he died. He was going hard on Munna Duke. But remember, Munna Duke was going hard on Memo600 for he passed away.
He ain't never put a belt to ass in no motherfucker day in his life. I don't really take people like that serious, man. You gotta know him, man. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker like me that been around, that I know every motherfucker. And a motherfucker like him, I can't take serious.
News was finally confirmed. We heard the rumors that Munna Duke shot Memo600, but Munna Duke never stamped this. Memo600 never stamped this. It was once upon a time where they almost talked about this, but Memo600 was like, that's police, that's police. And then Munna Duke was like, they don't gotta know what I'm talking about. But that's about it.
Hey, you hear me?
All right, you said what you said earlier. We ain't got to talk.
Hey,
I won't give a fuck if you merged on JoJo.
Listen, man.
You said what you said earlier, gang.
You know what the fuck I do, you know what I'm saying? So you better stop playing. You
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
hey, dude.
You, Memo, you.
Y'all recruit goofies got to play with me. What the fuck wrong with y'all?
I told you that personally anyway.
You police? Police,
yeah,
gang. You police somewhere.
All right. I'm talking to you though. You personally, that's you. We ain't even gonna do it. Ain't no motherfucker else got nothing to do. I'm talking to you.
Don't kick me. You know, 16-shot of visuals kind of stamped this. Hit the like button. Gold on this video with O Block. Something happened. Munna Duke put that bang out and got the blowing and shit. Memo got shot. We all remember this when Memo got shot. It was a dice game. People thought people from No Limit did this. But in reality, it was actually Munna Duke who shot him. You know, this shit got so big that nobody really knew what happened. They was dissing each other subliminally on the internet. But you know, news came out that Munna Duke upped that pistol. You know, when 16-Shotter told this story, people from O Block came in instantly, like Munna Ike. He was like, cap, this false, this not real. You know, I guess these people don't want this on Munna Duke name now that he done passed away. People are already saying he a gang leader. He was a leader of O Block. Now they saying he doing murders. You know, people want to keep his name clean. But unfortunately, he was a face out here, a fixture of the drill.
It was one day, there's in the a couple people out there, couple people. I ain't gonna say everybody's name. I'm just gonna say some 600 members and some O Block members and who knows who else. You know, it was a dice game. One thing led to another thing. I don't know why it led to that. I can't tell y'all why it led to that. All I know is one thing led to another thing, and a 600 member and an O Block member got into it. In the midst of them getting into it, shots get let off. Somebody actually got hit. I ain't gonna say who. RP Duke, man. On phone now. I never spoke on this because I wasn't trying to get nobody locked up. But Duke passed away, man. RP Duke. He can't get in trouble for this. All I know is whatever that happened, Duke got the blow on that. Somebody got hit on phone now. He's shooting at from 600. Memo one of them that's getting shot at. Memo get away. On phone. That's why that's why they be saying Memo be fast on this FIFA, because I don't know how football. Memo be getting out of every jam on phone down. Just think about it. Shit with Lil Mizzy don't chase them. Got out that jail. Crashed the car, but he got out the jail. Then when they tried to do that shit in the studio with Durk and you know, got out that gym on phone now. This shit, got out that gym. The pool party, he got hit, but he lived. He got out that gym on phone now. Memo get out that gym. Oh, they're great. That's one thing I say about Poe. He must got fast feet because supposed to be surviving. Folks done had a couple situations where it could have went bad for him, or he could have got touched, and folks be getting out that gym. Not too long ago, so it was like this shit happened. Then it made a tension between the O and 600 because it just had a real situation. I ain't gonna say a blick out because that would insinuate that somebody shot back. I don't know what nobody from 600 did. I ain't gonna speak on nobody that's alive, what they did, what they didn't do. All I know is, you know, Duke did that on phone now. So you gotta look at things from Memo point of view, right? If you know when y'all was alive, a nigga blew at you, shot your homie, meaning he was trying to shoot you too, because he ain't shooting in the air. Shot at you, hit somebody. Why would Memo be saying RIP to somebody that you know tried to kill him just because he did? That's something. This is the last time I'm speaking on this situation. It was cool when he did it, huh? Y'all be weird as hell. Go catch a hat and stop D-riding. And Memo said something else. I think he said something like, when a dog tuck his tail, it's a monkey. Basically, I think he's talking about Trigger, because I think Trigger might have said RIP to Duke. And this the thing, a lot of y'all be getting mad at Memo. And it's crazy, folks, that I've been catching myself lately, like, speaking in his favor.
The camera fractures, jolts, yelling, bodies dropping low. In the scramble, 2 lanes of action appear. Duke pushes forward. The cousin's position shifts along the edge of the crowd. Exit. Movement toward the door and out. 2 bodies leaving in rough sync, consistent with a coordinated withdrawal rather than a lone actor's flight. What the lens does not settle is the cousin's precise function. 16 shot him places him in immediate proximity and operationally linked. Unclear whether as secondary shooter, point man, or lookout. The Reddit synthesis matches that. Presence confirmed. Exact role unresolved. Why the second man matters. 1 shooter reads as a personal act. 2 aligned actors reads as operation, planning, roles, timing. In the accountability grammar of the street, that distinction expands the target set from a man to a crew. Aftermath vector, a car shooting follows on a different day. Boo Man, Memo's cousin, is killed. Memo survives. The link back to the dice game becomes the consensus motive in public conversation, but specific attributions for the car attack remain contested and legally sensitive. We do not assign names. What remains unknown, the cousin's fate, whether later targeted, incarcerated, or free, does not resolve cleanly in open sources. Sealed matters and protective orders complicate the trail. Legal translation, as discussed in the last scene, 2 actors convert an incident into conspiracy. In a RICO frame, coordination is the bridge from event to enterprise. Posts, messages, travel patterns that would be background for a solo act become potential overt acts when a second participant is in the room. Bottom line for the documentary record, the dice game was not a solo burst of personal rage. It was a coordinated action involving Duke and his cousin. The circle of accountability widened accordingly, and the escalation that followed tracked that wider circle. We need to say this plainly. Munna Duke is dead. We said it in part 2. Tonight we sit with it. Reconstruction first, without spectacle. Night hours. A block he knew. Local reports confirm shots. A body. Transport. The slow public confirmation that follows. Candle picks. RIP posts. Call-ins to channels that track this world. No arrest sheet that resolves motive. No clean chain of custody for blame. The record is a mosaic. Timestamps. Eyewitness fragments. Memorial footage. The quiet logistics of a funeral home. What can be responsibly said is simple. He was killed, and a community felt it. Now, aftermath. Not as a scoreboard, as a loss. People who knew Duke insist the internet met him in one storyline and stopped there. They didn't. They knew the full person. Funny, stubborn, loyal, flawed, protective, shark on land, complicated in his own right, said 4 words that cut through every mask. We took an L, no rallying cry, no spin, just a loss that doesn't get replaced. E-Dog's public grief carried that same double weight, accuracy and pain in the same breath. He refused the easy myth. He named the history. He held the hurt. He didn't let either erase the other. That's why his voice has mattered here. O-Block's mourning wasn't one note. It was over.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of M. But now I'm back to the script. A nigga that's me, then it's block to his hip. Call Lil Bro, got a zop out of zips. Can't forget murder, got a raw on the whip.
Don't lie, fo. It was crazy, fo. I ain't even gonna lie, fo. It just, you know, that was another moment, fo. You know what I'm saying? Like, similar to the Mellow Buck shit, it was like another moment of like realization, like where we at as a city. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me, bro?
Was it surprising at all? Like, was it surprising at all where they were at? They were way up north, way away from O Block, not in the hood.
Well, no, I won't say that because, bro, that's low key like how, you know, get away from shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we going up north to hang because we know if we go, you know, anywhere too close, if we not in the hood, just too accessible, folks. So call themselves like getting low, going up north. Like, up north ain't shit happening up north, folks. Like, at all. Like, unless you in the North Church, that shit. Like, people be telling me, like, I need to move, folks. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I ain't used the film. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't used the film. I really low-key still don't, folk, but I'm starting to see now. Like,
about the situation. Like, damn, why is Memo trolling?
I'm confused because certain niggas don't do what I do. Like,
yeah,
I'm not gonna sit here and dick ride no niggas and you know it ain't that with them and we got shit going on. Like, you know, it's certain niggas, I ain't gonna say they scared. Yeah, they scared, but I'ma always speak my mind, gang. If we not fucking with y'all, we not fucking with y'all. You can't force me to fuck with y'all because folk don't fuck with y'all. Like,
but what 16 basically said, and he said, I know you seen it, but the nigga said basically the reason you and Munna Duke don't fuck with each other because the nigga shot at you while you was in O Block and another nigga from 600 got hit or some shit like that and you ran up out of there.
I ran up out of there?
It was, that's what I heard from 16. And the shit got a lot of views, so it looked like
it was true.
That's what they saying. And then when you add in like, damn, so Munna Duke and Memo had beef, because I used to see y'all go at it on Clubhouse a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But like, I didn't know it was to that extent or whatever. I don't know what happened. But when you hear 16 say that, and then you doing the trolling online,
it look like it's
it, you know what I'm saying? It look like it add up a little bit.
Basically.
Yeah,
basically.
So you and Duke's situation wasn't no shit, cause you praise E-Dog a lot, so I figured like E-Dog could have been a nigga that could have stepped in and kind of patched shit up.
But he didn't do enough to prevent what's going on. Like,
word. So then you don't
with him to, you know, to the death.
So even though like, you know, 600 and O Block, y'all got like this long history of like being the brothers and shit. You don't. Damn.
Yeah.
It's the internal politics is kind of interesting because I think I heard you say or someone else say that like didn't King Von like knock out Duke back in the day and stuff. So
that's where this stem from, right? Yeah. That's where
I was saying like how like Big Phone them like Gleesh, that's Duke real homie type shit, but Gleesh is Von real homie too. You see what I'm saying? So we was saying like how they had Von. See, we want that close with Von because we was shorties,
right?
But we was close with Duke, like this, like real like this, like I don't know.
You're saying like loser Duke was kind of equivalent to loser Von for some people.
But it hurt worse because it was like, bro, like we were just pulling up on Duke like when Duke was just on the band, me and my little brother just pulling up on folks like every weekend, like just sitting talking to him for hours, picking his brain, he picking our brain type. We was waiting on him to get off the band. I was with him. He was in my car like the same day that happened. Like we just sitting in the car. It was me, him, my little brother J4. He chilling. He just get in the car out the blue. Like he got in the car. He put his bag in the car. He just sat in the car. He tell me like he had a toothache. He was telling me he had a toothache. His mouth was hurting. And we just riding and shit, talking and shit, playing music and shit. Like, you know, we went to go get Jerry.
Feeds still churning. On the 600 side, Memo's reaction became the loudest part of the echo. The pork chop post, the F my DM reply. Even allies winced. Not for politics, for a line crossed after death. But context matters. Boo Man gone. Repeated attempts on his life. Years of threat. The dice game. The car shooting. A cousin who didn't come home. From inside that accumulation, Duke's death wasn't an abstract tragedy. It felt like an end to the thing that had been pressing on his chest for years. The disrespect read as cruelty from the outside. From the inside, It was grief inverted. Grief braided so tightly with rage that you can't tell them apart. That's not a defense. It's an explanation. Connect this to what we just established at the dice game. Two actors turns an incident into an operation. An operation turns response into destiny. Duke's death sits downstream of that widening circle, but it is not a closing chapter. It's a human life ending in a city that has too many of these endings, so we mark it. Not as victory, not as proof, as absence, as a name said out loud, as the cost that never shows up in a thumbnail. Institutional, procedural, current as written. Operation Black Amigo. FBG Duck's murder produced a 5-defendant federal indictment in the Northern District of Illinois. It is the most significant RICO action figures tied to Parkway Gardens in the drill era. Proceedings are public. The Chicago Tribune, the Sun-Times federal court reporters. For definitive status, Pacer is the source of record. Timing matters. What is true today may not be true when you watch this case's move. Please enter verdicts, land appeals follow. What the indictment does, in black letter terms, is frame the Parkway Gardens set as an enterprise and the Duck murder as a RICO predicate. That enterprise theory unlocks exposure. Conspiracy liability, mandatory minimums, guideline ranges that make cooperation rational and holding weight structurally difficult. It is the prosecutorial architecture of modern gang cases. Parallel to that, the 600 side carries the just blow 600 outcome. 18 years, he is serving that term. Facility specifics and day-to-day conditions are not publicly documented. The math alone explains the pressure. Beneath the federal tier sits years of state charges. Shootings, assaults, weapons cases run through Cook County. Those records are unevenly accessible, harder to aggregate, and constantly in motion. They still add up. Where does the reckoning stand right now? In categories, not names. Some defendants are detained pre-trial. Some have pleaded, some have been convicted at trial, some await trial dates, some are in the appellate stream. Sentencings in the federal case reflect the RICO frame. State sentences reflect Illinois statute. The totals are measured in years that do not show up on YouTube. The combined picture is simple and brutal. Content turned a conflict into an economy. The courts turned it into custody. The government's intervention is real. The incarcerations are real. And collapsing the distance between those realities, the views and the years, is the point of documenting this at all. Genesis chapter 4, Cain and Abel, the first murder in the Judeo-Christian tradition. 2 brothers, 2 offerings, one accepted, one rejected. Envy, violence. Am I my brother's keeper? And the curse that follows, not death, but wandering. This is not a decorative overlay on a secular story. It is a genuine parallel that Chicago's street versus street conflict produces with unnerving precision. 2 communities, less than a mile between them, the same material conditions. Poverty segregation, structural abandonment names, murals, vigils, the same code, loyalty, solidarity, honor, naming blocks wearing names, singing the dead into memory, and still killing each other. Not because they are different, because they are too similar, competing for the same scarce oxygen of respect and significance. Cain and Abel are brothers. Their enmity is not destiny. It is the failure to resolve competition without violence when guidance is absent. Block 600 are brothers in this reading, raised on the same South Side, shaped by the same American history, grieving in the same language. Hands, concrete shoes, am I my brother's keeper? The tradition answers, yes. Keepership is obligation, to see the person beside you as a life you must guard. The street code narrows loyalty to the block. Outside the circle, obligation goes silent. You are not your enemy's keeper. Often, not even his equal. Proverbs 16:18. Pride goes before destruction. Proverbs 11:2. With humility comes wisdom. Keepership texts, warnings against the interior posture that makes the keeping impossible. Memo Duke are not villains in a fable. They are men inside a structure pride helped harden, each paying the price that follows pride. One with his life, one with the cost of surviving. Neither side kept the other. The result is visible. The dead, the incarcerated, the displaced. Children growing up where geography is renamed for absence. Diagnosis, not condemnation. This is not condemnation. It is diagnosis. A geography of scarcity, a code that made killing logical, and no keepership to interrupt it. Brothers put in a narrow field, competing without wisdom, taught a loyalty too small to save them. The next chapter, if it exists, begins where the old question ends. Yes, I am my brother's keeper.